generation of Detroit sports media is here. Crunch Time is back on Woodward Sports. Join Jeff Iafrate and Booner Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Taking Detroit sports coverage to the next level with massive interviews, viral moments, and the best live reactions. Get ready, Detroit. The young guns are taking over. Crunch Time on Woodward Sports.
And we are live, Crunch Time, Woodward Sports, weekdays 11 to 1. It is Wednesday, day of the doc. John Macru joining the show today, talking Detroit Lions OTAs. We got breakout players. We also have the NBA Finals starting tonight, so we're going to get to that later in the show. We'll talk some NBA Finals.
The New York Knicks are in the NBA Finals.
Can you believe it? Maz is somewhere just ecstatic for tonight. Imagine getting him on. Maybe. We'll see. Maybe we can finagle Maz sometime this week. Get him on.
He shows up in a New York Knicks jersey.
If they win,
a Jeremy Lin jersey.
It would be insane. But we have a great show planned for today, man. And for everyone that tuned into Big D Energy, if you missed it, you can go back and watch. Neil and Sean, they had some good conversations today. They had some
man.
You know about that? They talked about Isaac Tesla being worth the multiple third-round picks he was traded for to be a wide receiver 3. It's just fun conversations we're having over there at Big D Energy. So go check them out. Shout out to my guys. But like I said, big show today. I can't wait to talk to the doc because we talked to Colton yesterday, and you get like two different opinions. That's why the show is so amazing because we get Colton giving the Colton is very calculated, and he's going to keep it real and be direct, talk about some of the positive outlook on the Lions. And then we have the doc who just does not give a flying F.
Are you saying by that you're saying Doc doesn't keep it real?
Oh, he keeps it real in his own way.
I think he keeps it
real. They have two different
Yeah.
ways of keeping it real. Their own, I guess, like
I think the doc is kind of a man of the people. Like he says what the people are really online.
But does he though? Because the people seem like they hate what we said yesterday.
Well, the people change.
So it's like,
you know what?
It seems
right.
like we had Colton. He was the side of there's a lot of people that think the way Colton does, and there's a lot of people that think the way Doc does.
I would have to think though that's like 10% of the people who think that the whole situation with Myles Garrett wasn't a big deal in the fan base. It feels like more than not people are like mad about it and not a little worried, like very worried about the Los Angeles Rams.
Yeah.
Which they should be.
You should be.
And the big thing for me, I just wanted fans to understand yesterday that, and I know people get sick of it, like the whole comparing Brad Holmes to other like Super Bowl GMs. I understand that can get annoying. Oh, you always bring up Howie Roseman and Les Snead and John Lynch. The reality is, I am going to continue to do that till that man wins a Super Bowl because that's what the standard is. You
compare him
to GMs that get it done
to his peers.
Yeah, when you get to that point, like we keep saying, when you get to the Super Bowl window, which you've been in for 3 years now, that's who you're getting compared to until you win one. Yeah. And that's like the expectation. I don't think people, and there are people who are, it's like, then this is what I hate the most and we got this comment a lot the last 24 hours. Well, man, we went through 0-16. Like you've missed the playoffs for 30 years. At least just enjoy it. Like no one cares about that at this point.
The Be Grateful crowd really
it's the worst.
Shout out to
it's like, yeah, I'm grateful that the team is finally good, but then the expectations start. Like year one when they went to the NFC Championship game, it was like, man, we went through so much, finally got here. After that, it's like, all right, we're here. Like, welcome. This is the room you're in now.
At some point, we got to put the SOL stuff behind us. At least people still bring up the 3-letter acronym. But what I mean by that is the Matt Millen days and et cetera. Matt Patricia, Bob Quinn. We have to, at some point, start talking about what's going on with this current regime and stop pulling the Be Grateful card on basically everyone that has any opinion on what the Lions should do. Now, here's the interesting part, too. Everyone in this town, I think, can agree. We all want to win. Everyone wants to win the Super Bowl. But there's people that don't want to have the uncomfortable conversations that come with that. That's what I don't like. You can't have if you want to win, you have to be willing to have uncomfortable conversations.
There you go.
And that comes with that. And some people are on board with that, and some people disagree with that. But hey, I was talking with Terry before the show. It's like opinions are like, you know what? All right, everyone has one.
No, okay? I don't know what.
And some of them stink.
And some of them stink.
What's that? You know what?
You know what I'm saying.
I don't. Oh, thank you, Casey.
Thank you.
I just want to make sure I wasn't clear what you know what was.
Oh, by the way, I am the guy that will say the shit that don't need to be said. So
perfect.
There you go.
We've got
I
that
take
guy.
the fall for the squad. I'm the Draymond Green of Crunch Time.
Callie Max in the chat comparing Jeff to Skip. Okay, here we go. Starting off a Wednesday.
Skip Bayless or Dan Skipper? Which one are we talking about?
I would assume Skip Bayless.
I'll take the Dan Skipper one.
I mean, we got Terry Foster. Terry, is that a compliment? Skip Bayless or no? It's a tough one. He says hell no. Okay, that's a bad thing.
You'll have a long career at least.
By the way, too, shifting the saddle, Lions got good and then got stuck in the middle of the pack. That's literally what the Steelers are. And we're on like the path right now to becoming just the Pittsburgh Steelers for the next 10 years.
Yeah.
That's the path you're on. If you're like, hey, Brad's doing such a good job drafting and paying his guy, that's where you're on the Steelers path.
Eduardo, appreciate the $5. By the way, let those super chats fly. We'll get to them as soon as possible. He says, at the end of the day, we all want a Super Bowl. It's okay to believe, and it's okay to question. I was grateful after 23, but as a Yankees fan, I expect more than 9-8. Fair.
Yeah.
What a fair comment by Eduardo. Shocking.
He's a Yankees fan?
Yeah, I didn't want to ask any questions about that. I don't know
Eduardo, I ain't talked to him in a while. I'm surprised he's a Yankees fan, though.
Callie Mex says, Jeff, why don't you have this uncomfortable talk with Brad? Well, you have to understand. If I were to do that, I would never get those opportunities.
You were right next to him, Jeff.
By the way, we call a spade a spade. Jeff's the only one in the last 12 months that have been straight up with Brad Holmes. The only one. Like, and everyone's just kind of walked around the edge conversation, like, it's all good, Brad. It's all good, Brad. Brad asked Jeff about it, and Jeff straight up said, dude, you keep signing guys that are injured. Mm-hmm. Why are you doing this? And Brad's like, oh, that's fair. But no one for like 12 months when this edge thing's coming up, no one's like, hey, Brad, why do you keep signing edge rushers that are just constantly injured? Yeah. Why? Like, no one just straight up says it. Jeff said,
Jeff did his
I'll
thing
let you know.
Brad.
Yeah, and the thing about it, like, KG, I think, KG, you nailed this yesterday. Like, the big takeaway is, like, you have these conversations and people jump to conclusions. They just go, well, then you hate Brad. No. You can have appreciation for a general manager and be like, he's done really good things, but here's where I think he needs to improve, or here's what other teams are doing that the Lions aren't doing. Why is that? Mm-hmm. But if you do that, KG, well, then you hate Brad. You think he stinks.
It's stupid.
It's just like you can't like there's it's. I always compare some of this stuff is like it's straight up politics. Like it feels like you're on here or over here. There's no like middle ground. We can just have a human conversation.
It's the two camps, man. And we got to realize like Brad is a 2-time executive of the year for a reason.
Yes.
But because of that, we hold him to a certain standard.
Absolutely.
And that's all I want. But yes, being grateful is a non-negotiable for Lions fans. We ain't had shit. Like I have no choice but to be grateful. But now that we're in these waters, I want to win. I don't know about y'all. I'm trying to actually have a parade down Woodward.
Yeah.
And certain things have to happen in order for that to happen.
I would turn those 2-time executive of the years in for a Super Bowl.
Absolutely.
So, like, those are just, to me, it's like if fans are want to just live on that forever. It's cool. Yeah, he's a great GM. Has he won you a Super Bowl? The guy hasn't.
No.
Dude. He hasn't. And until he does, he's in that second tier of GMs.
Two things can be true.
He can't jump up until he wins one.
He's done more for the Lions than we've ever seen.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, it's not enough.
Yeah, and people are like, well, there's a lot of GMs that have won Super Bowls. Exactly. And they're held to the same standards if they're good.
And they don't have jobs.
That's across the board. Yeah.
I like, by the way, we were talking to Braylon in the back earlier this week. I like the thought process of the Detroit Lions organization as a whole. Like, they want to win a Super Bowl, but they really don't want to. Like, they're not like, and he was. I get that. I get the sentiment of it though. It's like they won't spend that extra money. They won't go out there and do that. They're fine to where what Braylon said. If they somehow come across and they end up making a run and doing it, they're happy with that. But they're just not. They're not doing what the Rams and those. And Braylon brought up a good point. Like, he thinks it comes from the top.
Yeah.
Like, he thinks from the very top. They're sitting there going like, hey, like, you're fine. Like, we're not going to put that pressure on you. To where is it Sam Kroenke, the Rams owner?
Stan Kroenke.
Stan Kroenke. He's like probably putting pressure on Les Snead and those guys. Like, hey, wait, I want another one. And it's the same thing. He owns like all these. It's the soccer team. He owns hockey teams. He owns baseball teams. And I'm sure him as a businessman is like, this is my number one thing. Like these, like, dude. Do they really care? Like, they're like, hey, let's do everything we can in our power to go win a Super Bowl. If they really cared about that at the top, you would have seen massive moves being made over the last 2 years.
But Sheila ain't got no money, allegedly.
I guess so.
Steve-O Baby in the chat. Jeff, you should have heard Tesla glazing on Big D Energy. They were actually celebrating that Tesla had 6 touchdowns in a season that didn't matter. Well, it did matter. I'll disagree with you.
Yeah, come on.
But the Tesla glazing, they were glazing Tesla. And the reason why I'll say that is not because Tesla's not good. I actually like Tesla. I think he's super talented. We've actually talked about this. Yeah. It's nothing to do with Tesla. But the way Neil, I'll talk to Neil too, specifically is glazing Tesla as a wide receiver 3 with the Lions, no question, unless they trade J-Mo, a career wide receiver 3 with the Lions. And probably, what would you say, option on offense? Probably, what did they say he was, like 6th or 7th?
Yeah, 6 option, yeah.
You traded 3 third-round picks for that type of player. Like, that's unacceptable. And if you think it is, well, then go ahead, look at every contender, Neil, and you tell me they're wide receiver 3. I'll wait. Because it doesn't matter at the end of the day.
And I just think with that conversation, we got to separate the deal and the actual player. The actual player, I feel like they hit on. He's going to be a great Lion for a long time. But yeah, the compensation we can argue that.
Yeah, I think the front office side of things too. The thing that really bugged me about that, and we actually had this conversation when they made that trade to go get Isaac Tesla. The number one thing it turns into is, all right, you're not paying your wide receiver too. You're not, because you just drafted one and you gave up thirds for it. Yeah. So you're not paying your wide receiver too. But then within a 6-month span, I remember exactly where we were when that came out. Jameson Williams gets extended for 25 plus
which
million.
we like, by the way.
And we love, yeah. But it's like you can't
yeah.
have, and that's where I think sometimes Brad goes wrong. It was the same thing. I say it a million times. It's the same thing with the Aleem and the Ty Leak thing. Hey, you're going to pay Aleem McNeil top 5 money, and then you're going to use a first-round draft pick on the same position. Yeah. And obviously now they're both going to be playing, but it's the same thing. It's a sentiment of like, hey, you're going to use all these draft assets to go get a wide receiver, and then you're going to turn around and spend $25 million a year on a wide receiver too.
Yeah.
And you have a wide receiver in Amon-Ra who's a $30 million guy. So it's like those assets, you're using too many assets in one pool.
But
you got to split it up.
You save some money. Like Khalif was in that spot. He was making $6 million a year. By drafting Tesla, you get him, around $1 million a year, and you got him for 4 years, which is much cheaper than what Khalif Raymond would have been.
What did they sign Greg Dortch for?
4 million, 5 million, something like that.
But it's like, how much are you really saving though? Because you use draft assets to do it. You could have used those 2 other thirds to go out there and get more rookie deals to get more cheaper. Yeah. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like who are 3rd-round picks from the Detroit Lions over the last 5 years, 6 years?
Not good. Manu.
But like 3rd round and on, right?
Yeah.
Amon-Ra, Kirby, like you can keep going. They've drafted all pro players from those positions in past. So you use those on Isaac Tesla, who's a good player. I think we can all agree. But it's like, hey, you doubled down on paying J-Mo.
That's where the conversation, because
the assets in the front
I know
office
Neil.
side
Listen,
of
I love
things.
Neil. I know what he's going to say. It's like, well, was Tesla hit? That's going to be like the argument he stands on.
Yeah.
Yes, he's a good player, but the role he's going to play on the Lions specifically, not anywhere else, on the Lions, not worth the picks he was giving up for. It just doesn't make sense.
Possibly.
That's my issue with it. So anyway, I'm not going to go on a Tesla conversation, but I did want to address the PD. But what were you going to say, KG?
No, I think his upside makes it kind of worth it, but I do agree that maybe at that point in the draft, you could have used some defense. And that's really my only argument. You wasted all this capital on a position that's kind of a luxury position that at the time you didn't necessarily need.
Yeah, I look at like when you're building a team like Brad Holmes, there's a bunch of different pools, and you have to figure out where to put the money in. And obviously some of those pools are going to be deeper, like the quarterback pool. It's going to be the deepest pool. Like you're going to have to spend the most money. Edge, it's going to be a deep pool. But then you get to the wide receiver room, and you get to these different rooms. It's like, hey, you're putting more money in those pools, and you could use that somewhere else. And then now we're in this spot to where it's like Brad's going to the media being like, hey, I got to pay my guys. We got to figure out these contracts. Well, there was moves that you made that handcuffed you that you could have easily went a different direction, and it would have made this team better. Even if you hit on the guy, if you would have went defense there and you kept those 2/3, you can go defense with those other 2/3. And your team's that much better. Yeah. And you could have went out there and signed a Greg Dortch to be your wide receiver 3. Because like realistically, Jeff says all the time, how many targets is your Isaac Tesla really going to get?
I think more this year.
But realistically, he's never going to get wide receiver 2 numbers.
Maybe
unless
not.
An injury.
But
he won't.
It depends. Like I said, I think his upside is like great. He can be
in
arguably
the NFL
the best
draft,
slot receiver in the league.
In the NFL draft, you're drafting though. Wide receiver 2 is probably in the 2nd, 3rd round, correct?
No, correct.
You drafted a wide receiver 3 and you used 3/3, which let's do an equivalent to that. That's about a high 2nd.
No, for sure.
That's an early 2nd round. So you did that for a wide receiver 3.
Yeah.
And I get that's Brad being
with
like
high upside, to KG's point. I agree with that.
But then again,
when you look at
the
the
high
type of
upside, but
catches
you
he makes,
just
it's
paid
like,
your
all
wide
right.
receiver 2, so he has high upside, but you're never going to get the production that you spent out of him.
Yeah.
You never will.
While you're paying him
J-Mo's
pennies.
there.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Like
you never will.
While you're paying him pennies, that's a dude that could step in as your wide receiver 2, paying him pennies and be a stud.
That's why I don't think the conversation's like, is he going to be good? Is his ceiling high? Did you hit? Like, yeah, it was a great pick. It's a great player. But for what you gave up for him, it's like, hey, in what he is on your team and his role, was it worth it? Probably not.
For them, because offense is what drives this thing. They don't, not to say they don't care about defense, but clearly the resources have gone to offense. Let's be real about it.
That's fair.
Yeah,
the money is all on
Let's head to
offense.
break. When we get back, we'll talk worst case, best case for Brad Holmes this season, and what does that look like? But first, we got to hear about our friends from Mad Packs.
Let me tell you about Mad Packs, because, boy, I can use some of this right now. But Mad Packs has got the high-low pre-rolls that we all love, the Boom Shakalaka live resin-infused tarantulas, and they got Mad Packs extracts and Blizzard packs. That's the concentrates and the Moon Rock for all my weed people out there. But they are the perfect things to get you through this Michigan summer. And if you stay tuned to Woodward Sports, you'll get all of those latest updates, or skip that. Just go to getmadpacks.com to get yours.
Neil Rule and Sean Belizian wake you up every Monday through Friday on Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports. That's right, Big D Energy has moved to mornings. Get your morning dose of Neil's tone and Sean's insanity. Weekdays 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Two Detroit sports legends coming together for the best Detroit sports morning show there is. Big D Energy, waking you up weekdays on Detroit's #1 sports network.
Some days call for light, others lean bold. What about everything in between? All Day IPA, the easy choice for every day. Citrusy, crisp, refreshing. Flavor you can float with. Light on the hops, big on refreshment. One's great. Two, even better. Brewed with you in mind. No shortcuts, no fuss. Big on flavor, never too much. All Day IPA. Hop into easy.
You know how some things are so good they should be world famous, but they're not? Our house-made vinaigrette is one of those things. And the antipasto salad, we drizzle it over. Same with our hand-battered chicken tenders. Original recipe soups and pasta sauces. It's almost as if our original, world-famous Detroit-style pizza is mocking them. And that's not very nice.
Has the best sports fans in the world. That's why they deserve the best sports coverage in the world. We are the Woodward Sports Network.
Buddy's Pizza has been celebrating the original Detroit-style pizza for the past 80 years, and they are grateful to be your hometown favorite. Follow their social channels and join their rewards program to see what they have planned throughout 2026. Add some Detroit style to your next event with Buddy's Catering. Their menu is packed with fan favorites, including their award-winning pizza, signature salads, home-style pastas, and more. Save 20% on your next order of $200 or more when you order with promo code Woodward20. Visit buddyspizza.com/catering to view their complete menu and place your order today.
We're back. It's crunch time on Woodward Sports, 11 to 1 weekdays. Super chats. I'll get to those, and then we'll keep talking more Brad Holmes. Eduardo, appreciate the 5 again.
Shout out.
He says, my issue is that Brad seems content with carrying the team when in 23 and 24, that's what costed you. Philly, New England, Denver, Seattle, bad defenses turned around in 1 year.
It's fair.
Another fair comment from Eduardo. You need to chill.
Yes.
You're preaching too much.
Shout out Ed O'Neal, man.
Hey, people are going to get mad at you, Ed.
Petrolic Carnage. Shout out my guy, man. He says, appreciate the $5. Says, Rams trade a 1, 2, and a 3 for the best defensive player in football. Brad trades 3 third-rounders for a 6th option. They're not the same. Okay, well, it's funny. That's funny. It's a funny comment. I'm not going to lie. But what I will say about it, and someone else commented, like, we are, to be fair, we're going to kind of put a bow on this thing. We are talking about Brad trading too many picks for a player that's actually good.
Yeah.
Like, we can keep it a stack.
Thank you.
By
It's
the
just
way,
whether we agree
If he was
fit.
dropping balls, then I'd be like, all right,
if he was a bust or something, it's a different. He is a good.
He's a good player.
So-
and if he's a wide receiver 2 and on a different team, he's probably producing very high at a very high level. Austin put it in the chat here though. He said he's never going to be worth the picks. And I think in that sense, it's like when you look at statistics and what he's going to do, his role will never be that because of the roster he's on. Yeah, it won't. Like, I went and looked. They have the value chart for picks, right? I said, all right, what are 3/3 worth in the NFL draft? It pops up here. It's 3/3 are worth a late first-round pick or 2 second-round picks. And so you essentially drafted him in that spot as a wide receiver 3. That's where I think the value of it. It's like, is Isaac Tesla good to Neil on their point? Yeah, he's a great player.
All right.
He could be a really good receiver in the NFL. He just will never get to that level.
But Brad don't care about positional value. Get the fuck out of here.
No,
man.
he doesn't.
Yeah.
But then that's why.
No,
That's
you're
why.
right.
Positional villain, man.
Yeah.
That's why
You are
sometimes
right.
you give up too much, or you overdraft someone.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. Like, I guess we got to live with that as Lions fans because Brad's never going to change.
Well,
that.
what I will say is whenever he's done these type of things, he's normally been right in terms of taking somebody. Positional value ain't necessarily screaming you should take him in that spot, but most of the time it's worked.
And I understand. I can
Yeah.
sympathize with a GM that thinks that way because, like, going BPA, because you are judged on your ability to hit on a draft pick, not position. Like, it's always hindsight. We go back and look at, okay, well, this player was there, this player was there. But again, to defend Brad, and I'll keep it a stack here. Like, his job is to hit on players, and whether we disagree with Isaac, in the role he's in currently, and then you draft him, trade 3/3, and then sign J-Mo, it's confusing. His job is to hit draft picks. He did that with Isaac Tesla. When you look back at his resume,
as of right now, he's hit.
Yeah, you got it. That's what he wants. Because what? People are quick to judge the draft classes. They don't look as good, you know. So I understand. Let's get to this Brad Holmes stuff. Worst case, best case, right? And I think for me, to kind of tie this all back together, because we're talking about Brad Holmes in this upcoming season, I think, what do you start? Are you guys like good news, bad news, or bad news then?
I think we go
bad.
Let's do bad. Let's just rip the Band-Aid off.
Okay,
because I think,
I'm a bad
I think
news
we
guy
all, but I
first.
think like with the worst case for Brad, I think we all have the same thought process.
Mine's a little more specific.
Okay.
But
Here we go.
I think
I'm interested.
because we know that we can agree. We probably all have the same outcome. It's either, can we agree, either missing the playoffs or not winning a playoff game?
Yeah.
Is that probably worst case?
Worst case, I would say worst case was miss the playoffs again.
Okay. So
that's where I have it at the
we
floor.
can agree that
Yeah, losing in the first round would be a worst case. Not necessarily making the playoffs and then losing in the playoffs, but
Yeah, I mean, if you're losing the playoffs,
if you make a wild card and get bounced, then
that's a tough
now,
spot.
This is where I'll add a little more detail to it. This is where it really gets worst case. Not only does one of those things happen, your defense is bad, and your free agency acquisitions are a major disappointment. The guys that you brought in free agency don't contribute at all. Or shouldn't say that. Little to nothing. Or underachieved to what you expected. That's worst case. Because not only are you not as good as you expected to be, but the guys that he signed don't live up to what you think they can be. Like DJ Wanham just turns out to be a rotational player, but not just that, because that's probably what he is, but a guy that every time he's on the field, you're at a disadvantage to some extent. Like, that's a problem. You know, like some of the guys he brings in are disappointments. I'll say that. So I'll say not only is it the result of the season, but it's also the guys that you brought in this offseason after people were harping to do more. They're disappointing.
Yeah, I think like going to that's like the worst case. You missed the playoffs. It's because the defense wasn't good enough. Like you know the offense is fine, and the offensive line is going to be built. Everything's fine back at that spot. I think it's like that secondary that we keep talking about when it comes like, hey, the secondary now has depth. Take injuries away. Worst case, you miss the playoffs, and it's because your defense is giving up 25 points a game, and you're 20th in the NFL in defense. And it's because you didn't find a way to replace Alex Anzalone. You didn't find a way to, get your cornerback room in check. You weren't able to replace Amik Robertson. You signed DJ Reed over Carlton Davis. Like those are steps to it, right? Where it's like, hey, you're building out a defense. Brad Holmes doesn't know how to build a defense if you miss the playoffs again, and it's because of your defense. Like he's struggling with it at the end of the day. If it's back-to-back years missing the playoffs, and the number one underlying factor is defense, that's on Brett. Like, hey, that's your job, is to make sure they have a competent defense, and he hasn't been able to do that yet. So that's worst case. Worst case.
Yeah, I think too, like if you bring up the defense, if the defense sucks and you miss the playoffs, that's worst case. But like it's even worse if Myles Garrett's tearing it up in LA and Micah Parsons is tearing it up in Green Bay. Not saying that like you absolutely had to go get guys like that, but I mean those teams made Super Bowl winning moves that made their defense better. So if your defense struggles while those guys are tearing it up for those teams and you miss the playoffs, like that's worst case for Brad Holmes.
Yeah.
No, I agree with the defense stuff, of course, but I think the offensive line, conversely, if the offensive line fails a second time, that's going to look bad on you because you allocated a lot of resources this offseason to that, offensive line. Blake Miller, Juice Scruggs, Larry Borum, Ben Barch. You just go down the names and you can question whether these guys are good or not. But the fact that Cade Mays, the fact that you invested so much in this offensive line, it has to work this year. There cannot be communication issues in the first game of the season.
That's fair.
There cannot be blown assignments constantly throughout the year. Like, these guys have to show up. And listen, Blake Miller, he's going to get beat sometimes. Like, he's just a rookie, it's going to happen. But this offensive line has to be good enough to where this offense can get back to the Lions offense that we know. And KG, they were top 5 in scoring last year. Yeah, okay. But we know that number is very, very flawed, and we know the inconsistency that we saw game to game to game. The third downs and stuff, all that shit's got to be fixed. So for me, the offensive line has to work. Like, has to.
Yeah, I think that's fair, especially offensively. Like the run game, you brought in Isaiah Pacheco, you brought Drew Petzing. It's like that's part of his offense is run first, set up the play action. You need an offensive line.
Yeah.
Like Blake Miller, at the end of the day, like Blake Miller has to work out. Because if he doesn't, your offensive line-wise, you're screwed.
But
Cade Mays, same thing. Like, has to work out.
The reason I said the offensive line as a whole, though, because last year going into the season, it was, oh, well, Frank Ragnow retired and the Lions weren't really prepped for that. People was kind of giving them that out and that excuse.
Yeah.
Even though they did still draft, for offensive line in that draft. But, okay, we'll give you that. But you knew Taylor Decker was kind of on his last leg. You were prepared for it. And these are the moves that you made. Good, bad, or indifferent. These are the moves you decided to make. So, like I said, I'm not bailing them out a second time. Like, the offensive line has to be better flat out.
By the way, Callie Max, he says, Jeff, the Lions will be good or bad. Depends on Petzing and Shepard. Those two are the key to unlock the offense and finally unlock the defense. We got great players, but it's up to them. Yeah. I mean, well, a lot of teams in the NFL, unless your head coach is calling plays, you're coordinator dependent. I mean, players make plays. There's no doubt. That's a big part of it. But the NFL compared to other sports, like the NBA, you get a good coach, but if you got superstars on your team, probably going to win a lot of games and win the championship.
Yeah.
Okay. But the NFL is a little different. Coaching matters a lot in football. So, yeah, I do agree with that. Let's get to some super chats here, or a super chat. Labartney says, hey, Booner, don't try and trash the heavyweights during their stream.
By the way, I thought Labartney was a good guy.
He is.
He's coming in here trashing us.
Oh, no, I can't have no Labartney.
He's in here trashing us.
No Labartney slander.
He's talking about why you guys have Maz on, why is Booner in the heavy. Like, he's trashing us. Like, I love Labartney. I thought we were cool.
He did say, you guys suck. Maz is the man.
Yeah.
Don't mess
like,
with
you want us to be nice to Labartney, but he's going to trash us? I'm getting hey, Woodward Sports 2.0. I don't like people who trash us anymore. I'm not going to just get walked on.
What's going to happen, Booner. You're going to get trashed, dude.
Listen, I want to be
that doesn't bother me.
I want to be a Labartney fan. I went into the heavies yesterday. I didn't trash the heavies. Easy had to take, Spenny had to take. I agreed with Spenny. I said, hey, Spenny's right in this one.
Yeah.
I wasn't I said easy. That's a bad take. Simple as that. No, there's no trashing going on.
Yeah.
And by the way, too, he said about Maz. I'm pretty sure we're the only show so far to have Maz on since we joined. So
that is a fact.
So if we were talking about, if you guys are like, oh God, Maz, I keep seeing we get the comments about Maz.
We tried to get him on last.
We're the only one.
Get the comments.
Yeah, like we've had Maz on the show, and we're right now working to keep getting Maz on the show.
Maz Away Fridays.
We're doing everything. We are literally behind the scenes doing everything we can to get Maz on the show.
I just find it's just funny. Lombardi says these new guys are kind of whack. Shout out Joey.
Labartney got me fired up. Labartney, I still love you though.
Labartney, you know how I feel about
you seem like a great dude.
I met him in person. He came to the old studio. He's good.
Okay. Yeah, Labartney, I love you.
And he has a lot of money, so I wouldn't go against him.
Labartney also says, with the $4.99 again, shout out, he says, KG is the star of the show.
Oh, okay. All right. I ain't going to go there. All right? But I appreciate the love. I ain't going to
Shout out Labartney.
Can we just agree, best case for Brad Holmes, man?
Best case is NFC Championship appearance.
Yeah, you got to get back to where you were. At
least. That's where I think it is. It's like best case NFC Championship. If you get to a Super Bowl, that's like, oh my lord,
like what the fuck, you overexceeded.
Yeah, that's massive. I think like if you're in the middle though, like expectation. I was thinking about that. Like we're doing worst best. What's like what's the expectation, dude? I think it's just like you have to win a Super Bowl, a playoff game. Yeah. Just win a playoff game.
Yeah,
just get back in that win column in the playoffs. That's, I think, all we ask for. And then after that, it's like kind of house money because of kind of what's happened over the last year or so. Yeah. But then you can kind of start building off that because you regress so much. NFC Championship game to losing in a divisional round to not even making the playoffs. Like let's get back on the stepping stool here. Let's just one step at a time here. That's all I look for this year.
Yeah,
I agree.
That's fair. Labartney says, "Don't suck."
$5. Thank you.
Shout out for the $5.
Thank you for the advice.
KG's the star of the show. Oh, we did read that.
Yeah,
one.
we
That
did.
is true.
I appreciate that.
He did get $5. That shout out to Maz Fridays. We're working on it, guys.
Labartney, do you have bipolar? I mean, what is going on here? You said we suck.
Labartney, do you like us or not?
Yeah, I don't know. Can we figure this out?
What's going on?
Official statement.
Labartney.
Crunch Time likes Labartney. Yeah. We're in on Labartney. So Labartey, we need an official statement from you. Where are you at? Where do you stand?
They're an extension of me, Labartney. So hey, just stall them out a little bit. All right, these my guys.
Nitty gritty said, Booner, you were making fun of Spenny's hairline the other day. Listen, I wasn't making fun of. I saw it. I was shocked, and I was like, whoa. Spenny calls me fat. 1 for 1.
Okay, fair enough.
Fair deal, right? We all make fun of each other.
As long as it's a 1v1.
I got your back, Spenny.
Yeah.
Yeah, Spenny my guy too. You can't be talking about Spenny.
Oh, man.
Scouting going to the max said Booner path to winning a playoff game. That might be the Booner path this year. It might just be winning a playoff game.
Let's get to break. We get back. Is Doc on?
Let's see.
He gets
He
a
is.
fine.
He is. Yes.
I was going to say, he gets fined if he's late. He knows that. We send him a fine.
Let's talk to the DOC, but first we got to hear about our friends from BlackRock.
Let me tell you guys about BlackRock. If you're looking for the perfect spot to host your next party or get together, LaBartney, when you're in town, let's go to BlackRock. Head over to BlackRock Bar and Grill, home of the steak on the stone. Whether it's a graduation party, baby shower, rehearsal dinner, or even it's LaBartney coming into town, it's the atmosphere to make it unforgettable. That makes it unforgettable. And the best part about it, there's truly something for everyone. There's cocktails, mocktails, salads, burgers, desserts, and then they have their famous steaks, as always, cooked right on the rock and chef prepared to perfection. Book your next visit and event today at BlackRock Bar and Grill and find a location near you at blackrockrestaurants.com.
Jameer Gibbs, breakout season, loading.
Inside the 5, Gibbs to the end zone, touchdown!
Woodward Sports, the most dominant Detroit sports coverage around. The best sports fans in the world. That's why they deserve the best sports coverage in the world. We are the Woodward Sports Network.
We're excited to add water hazard to the bullpen from our friends over at Founders Brewing. You've probably seen that bright blue drink. Yeah, that's water hazard. I saw it at the golf course last week. It's delicious. It's best served over ice with a slice of lemon, preferably. It's the vodka-based cocktail with 5% ABV that's citrusy, refreshing, and gluten-free. It's also the very first canned vodka cocktail from Founders, and it's perfect between innings or even between rounds. So next time you're out getting the drink with water hazard, please drink responsibly. We're back. It's crunch time here on Woodward Sports, 11 to 1 weekdays, and we got LaBartney dropping more dough, man.
There we go.
This guy,
he made a statement.
Printing money. He says, KG is the man. The show is kind of okay. Okay, so we're better than suck.
we're working our way up.
I like that.
I'm going to tell you what, I can't wait till the day LaBartney's like, love this show.
He said Maz is the man.
It's going to be the best day of my life.
By the way, Maz is the man.
He is.
I'll happily take you to Black Rock over the 4th.
All right, we're going to Black Rock with LaBartney.
Yeah,
that's when we change his mind about this show. We turn him on at Black Rock.
It can happen.
We're going to convince him. We're going to get him.
LaBartney donates another $5. He said, "Shout out Mike Weary."
Shout out Mike Weary.
The OG. Shout out.
That is awesome. All right, let's bring in our good friend, the DOC. John Macroon covers the Detroit Lions for Sports Illustrated, host of the Wolves podcast, Detroit Lions and SI on YouTube. Does a lot of things, but he's our good friend. Doc, how we doing?
The Doc.
I'm enjoying life.
Look at this guy.
The sun.
Poolside.
The sun. I am enjoying life. But before we get started, I got to know, KG, are you also a big fan of my work? I need to know.
Oh, come on. Doc, you know we love you, man. The only reason we had to stop bringing you on the morning shows because it was other factors at the top that wasn't allowing us to do that. We love you, Doc. You know that.
Right, and I want to be also known as the big dog. Thank you, guys. I always enjoy the conversation. What are we talking about today?
Well, Doc,
we got to talk about this pool.
Yeah, can we just not gloss over the fact you're just subtly flexing with a pool in the background?
Can I make a statement too? Like this is the problem. You tried to flex on us. By the end of this segment, you will have to jump into that pool. Like there is no question about it.
Wait. We have to set the parameters. I just got a new liner. I set it up. The chemicals are now in place. So next week, if the weather's nice, I will jump in. But the water's freezing. It just opened yesterday. But I will say this, as good a reporter, as good a podcaster I am a pool expert. That pool will always be blue, crystal clear, and something that my family can enjoy. And maybe one day, the fellas will come by
Can we have a
with
Crunch Time
all the
grill out?
friends and have a good time.
Yeah, hell yeah.
A pool party, Crunch Time pool party at the docks.
That is very, very possible, depending on the guest list.
Yeah, I'll say a bunch of dudes in a pool.
We got to run the guest list by
bunch
Doc.
of dudes in a pool. Doc, let's just get to it, man. You look like you're enjoying the day, and I know OTAs. We're kind of in that time of OTAs, and things are happening. But before we get to all that stuff, I do want to ask you, Doc. Chris Greer was hired to be a personnel executive, and I know there's some history there. Dan Campbell was an interim head coach with the Dolphins. They had Mike Tannenbaum as well, which was he was above Chris Grier, but they didn't choose to keep Dan Campbell. But clearly there's some sort of respect for Chris Grier. He got fired by the Miami Dolphins, but now he's with the Detroit Lions, kind of helping out with the roster. Can you explain Chris Grier's role with the Lions and kind of what you think that means, that move means for the Lions?
Yeah, look, you would expect him to be a senior personnel executive, somebody that will be in the room evaluating players. Now, look, it's funny to me because to shed a little insight into my reporting, last year, my biggest story of the whole year was Grant Stewart of the Lions telling me in an interview before joint practice with the Dolphins, he's like, these Dolphins are soft. And I have a close personal friend in the business that works for the Dolphins. So I've spent the last 2 years clowning on the Dolphins roster, how terrible they are, who's evaluating this soft team, who hired Mike McDaniel. Well, that person is Chris Grier. So now he's part of the Lions. So I had to spend the morning just joking around a little bit. The man really hasn't been known to be that great of an evaluator. There is a little snippet online that says he loves injured players, but he does, in terms of areas of strengths, he's able to evaluate the offensive line. He understands the need for skill position players. I just, like everybody else, would be like, well, could you maybe have hired someone from the Seahawks, the Rams, the Eagles, the 49ers, somewhat of consistency? The Dolphins have been atrocious and have been the victim of my trolling for years. But look, he's not going to make the final decision. He'll just be a voice in the room. But I do think that he's got a lot of respect within that room. But I think the sentiment that a lot of people across the NFL are saying is, my goodness, after getting whacked in Miami, he fell forward and landed with the Detroit Lions. He can finally watch some winning football, some winning offensive talent, and he can be part of something special. Hopefully, if the number one thing is make sure you continue to find the right guys. But look, at this point in time, I'm not taking too much stock in his evaluation reports just based on what he did in Miami.
Doc, I have to, I'm not going to lie. I can't stop thinking about you just jumping into that pool right now. Is it a 0% chance, or do we, what can we do here?
Doc, what's the temperature in the pool right now? You got that thing warm?
If we got 100 likes here before you get off this interview, can we get just a dive in the pool?
You guys want to see me with my shirt off and my
shirt on, just with the polo.
Jump in with the polo on. There's a possibility. Stay tuned to the end of this interview. I might jump in. You never know. I am crazy, and I'll do anything for you guys.
100 likes.
But that pool, right now, the pool is probably at 50 degrees. It literally, the water just hit the filter yesterday evening. That's what I was spending my evening doing. It's a brand new liner. I would be the first one in it in this new version of this pool. But there's a possibility. You never know. You just never know.
I hope if we get 100 likes, everyone hit the like button. I think we can get the Doc in the pool. I think he would do it.
I'll take it all off and shock the internet.
Okay. No, we don't need that. We just want we just want you to jump in the pool.
All right, now.
I do want to ask you here, dude.
Family program.
Wait, I'll say this. I'll say this. The Doc can't go wrong in any capacity. I'm not Diddy, baby. I'm better.
Oh man.
Let's go, Doc.
That's unbelievable.
Let's
what
go.
a statement.
Let's go.
Let's go.
All 39 minutes. You know it.
That would be an all-time statement. All right, I'm gonna transition out of this, Doc. Let's talk about the news, the Myles Garrett news. Obviously, in the NFC with the Rams. What are your thoughts on the situation? The big question, obviously, is, hey, can Brad Holmes do what the Rams are doing, or will he do it? And can he win a Super Bowl doing kind of the pay everyone instead of going out and making those trades and making those moves? What was your original thoughts yesterday or the day before when the Myles Garrett news dropped?
Yeah, no doubt. Look, if you follow me on X, I tend to be kind of a slight overreactor. So I found out about the news at 1:23 when I returned home from Grand Rapids, spending time with the family. Look, it's not my indicative true thoughts, but my first thought, and that's what my Twitter page is. It's just my thoughts at the second I see it. My first thought was, Lion season's over. And I was just like flabbergasted. I was like, there goes Les Snead again, being aggressive. Why can't the Lions be that way? And look, I understand, guys, I'm an NFL reporter, a podcaster, and I understand the Lions were not in the position to get Myles Garrett. But that's not going to stop me from saying I wish the Lions had Myles Garrett. Could you imagine Myles Garrett, Aiden Hutchinson, Aleem McNeil? The opportunity, anything that gets the Lions closer to the Super Bowl gets me super excited. And I just wish the Lions were somehow, I wish the puzzle was put together where Brad Holmes found the way to allocate salary cap resources properly, drafted the right young asset that was willing to be traded. You know, I sit online all day and people will try to rationalize that the Lions can't get Myles Garrett. And they say, well, the Lions don't have anybody besides Aiden Hutchinson. You think that makes me feel good? I listen to Neil Rule go, they don't want Aleem McNeil. They don't want Jamison Williams. And I'm like, you think that makes me feel good? I want all our players to be coveted across the league. I want people knocking on our doors saying, hey, do you want to give us JMO for Amon-Ra, for Myles Garrett? I want Myles Garrett on this team because he arguably, no doubt about it, there is no consensus. There is no debate. He's arguably the top 2 defensive end in the National Football League. But the Lions don't get him. They were not in the conversation. I just wish the Lions were in the position to be seriously in that spot to go all in. And for those that say and debate and say, well, the Lions are a team that drafts and develops, calm down, don't worry. Well, when you look at the way the Lions have been built for 60 years, and even in the last 5 years, I still have not seen a Super Bowl. And when I see how the Rams have been evaluated and how they've been looked at, this is the second all-in move from Les Snead. And I just wish that the Lions every couple years, you know, I just wish the Lions were in a position to add one of the best players in the National Football League. But they're not. But that doesn't mean the Lions, in all honesty, doesn't mean the Lions season's over. But we are still living on June 3rd. And on June 3rd, I'd love to be talking about the Lions with Myles Garrett. But it's not the case. The Lions still have a great chance to have a great season. But the bottom line, when it comes down to the NFC title game, I need it to be the Lions against the Rams. And I want everybody healthy. I want to see if Penei Sewell, Christian Mahogany, can they stop Myles Garrett? Can they prevent Jared Goff from hitting the turf? And you're hearing all this nonsense. I think it's all conjecture and nonsense, but I don't think there's a chance Aaron Donald returns. But that talk just scares the piss out of me too, because I want Jared Goff upright as much as humanly possible.
Yeah, Doc, I mean, we know it's football. Anything can happen. We've seen crazier things happen. The Patriots undefeated, lost to the Giants. So I'm not even like, people can make the argument the Lions can beat them or upset them. I'm not even interested in that, Doc. My big thing the last couple of days, all I was doing is trying to explain to people, like, you see what Les Snead's doing in L.A. It's not just Les Snead, but these GMs that won a Super Bowl or have been to Super Bowls, they operate a certain way where, and Les Snead's probably the worst example of this because he does it more than anybody else, but take any other GM. They operate a certain way that Brad doesn't. In your mind, do you think the Lions can win a Super Bowl the way Brad Holmes builds a football team, which is re-signing their own players? Because I know people bring up, well, his big moves are re-signing his own players. Do you think, in your heart, Doc, they can get it done that way?
Yeah, no, it's a beautiful question, and I can answer it very expertly because I've been thinking about this since I started a podcast. Let's just start at a basic level, okay? I saw that you fellas started a daily show. You were successful. You were making noise in the digital space. Now, I already was successful. I already was somebody that was in the media space. I said, you know what? Those guys look like they're winning. Those guys look like they have the path that looks like the future is going to go. So I didn't just go, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to be myself right all day and stick to my website. I listened to the people that said, hey, hop in the video space. Even though I got this ugly dome, people will say, you know what, I'm doing okay in that space. Now, you tie this to the Lions, you look at it from this perspective, I'm not acting like a fan. I'm acting rationally. So it's a real simple concept. It's not that difficult to understand. I look at the Rams. I look at the Seahawks. I look at the Eagles. And I say, what are they doing? What is their kind of secret sauce to be able to be successful? And there's tangible evidence that the stuff that they do can produce a Super Bowl. Now, all the fans in Detroit are like, let's just look at what the Lions do and have this overwhelming hope that the Lions can win a Super Bowl. Well, in the end, that has let you down for 60 years. I'm not talking SOL. I'm just talking about just the last 3 years, the Lions have went backwards. Why have they gone backwards? Some people will say injury luck. Some people will say you don't have the best quarterback. Here's the story. Here's the facts of the case. In order to win a Super Bowl, yes, you need a tremendous amount of luck, but you need all the puzzle to fit perfectly, meaning you have to hit in the draft, and you have to hit beyond just the normal 50% that the regular general managers do. You have to be able to make a couple moves in advance, like maybe drafting a Jared Verse instead of a Terrion Arnold. Maybe trade up for a Jared Verse. Maybe then you could flip them for a Myles Garrett. Or you say to yourself, okay, you have to expertly navigate the draft. You have to expertly navigate the salary cap. The Rams have paid 4 players $20 million or more. The Lions are at 7 or 8. You have to expertly navigate the trade deadline. The Lions have been far too passive at the deadline. And in free agency, there have been a lot of risks taken. Yes, they are spending on DJ Reed, but you didn't get anything out of his $16 million last year. So you have to nail all those things and still be successful and compete against those that are super aggressive to trade some pieces to trade those picks to get proven players. So in the end, okay, please, I'm not harsh. I'm not doom and gloom. This is just real. The Lions are not doing everything humanly possible. They're close. Give them credit. They're closer than any regime ever has been. But they're still deficient in several areas that will help a football team win a Super Bowl. And remember, Les Snead's not going away. Every year, he gets hungrier. Howie Roseman's not going away. Every year, he gets more aggressive. So for Brad Holmes, I just think that it's probably going to come maybe in a year or two. But you got to put all the pieces together. You can't just be a draft and develop team. So to your point, doing it this way, no, you will not win a Super Bowl. But I will say, the Rams stepping up and doing those things, I think will wake up Brad Holmes, and I do think there'll be a little bit more aggression at the trade deadline. You can't, if everybody stays healthy, you can't look at the Rams and say, okay, the Lions right now are in that mix. But they can be with moves made in training camp, with moves made at the trade deadline. This roster still has a chance to add a lot of talent, and I'm excited because I think that the Rams declaring their intentions will force the Detroit Lions and other NFL teams to be a little bit more aggressive and to be outside their comfort zone.
Doc, I want to ask you here. I saw this morning you put an article out. You wrote it. Kelvin Shepherd spoke with Fox 2 yesterday, and he actually brought up the thing that we've all been asking about Kelvin Shepherd. Is he going to adapt to what other defenses that are successful do in the NFL? And he actually mentioned that this offseason he has been studying the Seattle Seahawks, the Houston Texans, the Jaguars, and that he is considering, obviously, looking at what they're doing. He mentioned in red zone, goal line, all those different scenarios, and if that he's going to incorporate some of those. What are your thoughts on kind of the Kelvin Shepherd situation going into this year of adapting kind of to this new different defenses? Do you think he's going to adapt and change a little bit, or do you think he kind of just keeps doing what he's doing, and do you think he's not as serious about what he said on Fox 2 yesterday?
No, absolutely. Guys, this happens all the time. What is refreshing is that a public figure, a coach inside the Lions actually admitted it. That's the right thing to do, is to look at what teams are doing well that's successful. Most of the league is moving a little bit away from man-to-man. Most of the teams are moving a little bit toward nickel coverage. So you have to look at what the teams are doing. But specifically, if you read the article I wrote this morning on Lions on SI, he talked about he wanted to see where the Texans and Seahawks, where they got their advantages in forcing turnovers, what things that the Lions want to do, and enhance it with what some of the best teams do. It's absolutely the number one thing is to be humble yourself, and realize when you're in the bottom third of the defense in the National Football League, it's not good enough. And I'm very thankful the Lions are willing to look outside themselves, look at what other teams do, but it's been done before. It's not new. It's just something that you don't typically hear a coach say, hey, I'm looking at other teams because I want to add to my own defense. But it's very refreshing. I do think Kelvin Shepherd will learn a lot from his first year with the Detroit Lions defense. It wasn't good enough. It was too many explosive plays given up, not enough adaptations at halftime. He got out-coached by a lot of the offensive wizards. Now this year, I think that you also will see a second-year leap just as much as you would expect from a player. You'll see from Kelvin Shepherd. He's got the right makeup. But remember, he's only a second-year defensive coordinator. There's so much more delegation you got to do, so much more things you got to think about. And now that he's got that first year under his belt, some consistency was made. The decision was made to keep him on board. Fine. But he's got to step it up. The Lions cannot win a Super Bowl, guys, and I'm sorry to say it. You can't win a Super Bowl with the 20th ranked defense. You can't win a Super Bowl playing like that. You can't win giving up that many explosive plays. You can't win when your primary mission. You can't win not sacking the quarterback. You have to get to the quarterback and sack the quarterback. So hopefully all those things were addressed and looked at, they finally realized, oh, yeah, it's important to kind of stock up on defensive ends. They realized, hey, you got to have a proficient defense. And I think finally the wake-up call has hit the Lions. Hey, if you play good defense, maybe this football team can get to the playoffs in advance.
Hey, Doc, and I wanted to ask you about Aleem McNeil because, you know, he spoke during OTAs. He referenced the fact that he felt like he was getting some of his explosion back, you know, getting back on the line. And the Lions absolutely need that because, you know, at the time he was paid, I felt like he, you know, deserved the contract, but, you know, things play out. He gets injured. He came back last year in the middle of the season, wasn't really himself, and then he was playing edge too. I know that wasn't his choosing, but that's where they had him at, you know, a good percentage of the time. And you just want Aleem McNeil to kind of go back to what he was because at his peak, he was one of the best interior pass rushers that the Lions have, and he was also pretty good in the run game. But just what are your overall thoughts on Aleem McNeil, you know, coming back for this season, and what is a realistic expectation for him?
You're going to need the interior of the defensive line to just get a little bit more pressure. First and foremost, it starts with stopping the run. The Lions last year, look, when you come back from an ACL, you are doing your due diligence, but you're not the same player. Slower. You're not as aggressive off the line of scrimmage. You're just not. Your burst is not there. Along the defensive line, you need to be able to battle. These offensive linemen are getting bigger, stronger, faster. So you realize that, you know, I do expect Aleem McNeil to look a lot more like the player that he was 2 years ago, which is somebody that can clog the middle, that can get some extra attention, maybe free some things up a little bit for Aiden and maybe Derek Moore in clear pass rush situations. You want to see him be able to finish a little bit more, a little bit better this year, and that's all you could ask for. Look, he's a good player. I do think that he's one of the premier players at the defensive tackle position, and I do like the idea of him alongside Tyleik Williams, and now it's up to him to be able to step it up. And look, he told reporters that he was losing sleep watching the film of last year. That wasn't him. Everybody knows it. But when you're paying this player north of $20 million, the expectation is going to be that you step up and be part of the reason the defensive line steps up and is better than it was last year. And I do think that there's more reasonable hope that will happen if you get a better Tyleik Williams and Aleem McNeil stepping it up. I think the expectation is you got a nice run stuffer, a guy that can get to the quarterback, and in certain situations when the matchup dictates, he can sack the quarterback too. So I'm excited to see what Aleem McNeil does this year.
Let's talk about OTAs, Doc. What do you think about what's going on in OTA? I know it's not much to really discuss with OTAs, but we asked you about some storylines. But now that we have, you know, player interviews and players have got a chance to speak, is there anything that maybe has stood out to you so far with specific players or maybe things players have said or different storylines into OTAs? What are some things you're excited to find out more about?
Yeah, no doubt. Well, first and foremost, did you guys notice? I think everybody's noticing that, look, I realize Dan Campbell is a fan of Woodward Sports, but I think personally, you know, not reporting anything, but I think personally Dan Campbell is very upset with Stick. And here's what's happening. I think that's
you might not be wrong.
that Dan Campbell has been listening to Stick and has realized, man, Stick has put out a lot of rat poison hyping up all my players.
Oh, no.
And I don't want that anymore. I want my guys to be humble. We asked him a simple question about Levi Onwuzurike. He's like, I'm not hyping up anybody. So I think that he doesn't want any more rat poison from Stick. So take note, he's moving a little bit more toward Doc's attitude, which is, hey, good job. You had a good rep. Show me two more. And I think that's noticeable. And in all seriousness, I like the attitude that he's presenting, but it's May, guys. There's nothing going on. It's pajama party, like he said. This is a time for Dan Campbell to speak glowingly about his players. But I do think that he's starting to think maybe some of the media hype, maybe some of the money that's going to all these players high priced, maybe the hunger has not been exactly where it needs to be. But I just think time and place. His seriousness should be there right when training camp hits, not now. But, you know, I respect what he's morphing into. And trust me, I've studied Jimmy Johnson, Bill Belichick, Bill Parcells. I know this formula, top and bottom. I know it. And it's cool. I'm down with it. But maybe at training camp, not now. It's fun time. It's pool time. It's time for opportunities to practice in a lighter manner, 7-on-7. But it was cool to see some of the people that you want to see moving forward this year. Isaac Tesla, sure-handed. I think that this year, I want to see the growth of the second-year players. Tyleik Williams, Tate Ratledge, Isaac Tesla. Those guys can potentially carry the Detroit Lions. It was good to see the young players out there a little bit. Law caught a couple footballs and was looking like he could move around. He was looking speedy in the slot. I was very impressed to see that. So just the storylines that you want to see. I'm excited to see the competition in the secondary? Does Ennis Rakestraw push Roger McCreary a little bit? Does Ennis Rakestraw maybe even win the battle for the slot? I want to see Roger McCreary a little bit more. Me personally, my coverage the first day, because there were 2 fields and only one of me, I've asked the Lions for more, but they've only allowed 1 NFL reporter from my prestigious site. And so the first day I covered the steak and potatoes, Amon-Ra St. Brown, J-Mo, Panay, all the good players and established players. Now, tomorrow on Thursday, when I'm out there again, I will deliver further videos, highlights, insider coverage of the undrafted free agents. I want to see Keith Abney out there. I'll give you guys an insider look at the younger players that are trying to make a push. And that's all you can ask for is, how are these guys acclimating? How do they look out there? But yes, Dan Campbell said it. They're not in pads. You can't really evaluate the trenches too much, but you can see Blake Miller's getting some first-team reps, baby. And for my sources, they were pretty happy with what they saw the first couple weeks of Blake Miller.
By the way, so Michael Reary, appreciate the $2. He says, Doc, how are the Lions really looking? I think you just ain't kind of answered that pajama party. It's hard to really know. I mean, the guys are running around in pajamas. It's fair.
I like that. You want the deeper analysis. Look, the only critical thing I can say is J-Mo had 1 drop. So,
no,
J-Mo had a drop.
Oh no!
But look, in the end, it's not full speed. It's not something that you can make definitive assessments. It's about basically, how are they looking? They're looking like the team that we all think they are. They're looking like a team. My honest assessment is that, and if you read the great publication Sports Illustrated, which you should, keep Sports Illustrated in the mix and on Sports Illustrated my coverage, they had 3 bold predictions. One of them, they expect the Lions to be the highest scoring offense in the entire National Football League, scoring the most points. I concur with Connor Orr, the great NFL writer from Sports Illustrated. And they also said the 2 other bold predictions they have at the great Sports Illustrated is that the Lions will finish the year with the most regular season wins, and they will be one of those teams that goes worst to first and will end up winning the division. So as much as you guys say, oh, SI's this and SI's that, they put out a lot of good, positive content about your Detroit Lions as well, and you can read it all on Sports Illustrated. So I expect the offense. What do I really think about the Lions? Stick can give all the rat poison to the offense, and let's pray to dear God that defense stays healthy.
Doc, we have a comment before we get you out of here. Callie Mex says, Doc, how much is Neil paying you to clean his pool? Is this true?
Are you cleaning pools right now?
Are you in Washington Township?
Prove to us that you're a pool and jump in.
No, this is my pool. It's no doubt about it. Listen, because I can show back up at any time. Listen, let's give the people a little something to motivate themselves over the week. Let's get to 100 likes every week, every day this week, and get them up, get their numbers up. And next week, if the opportunity presents itself, I'll jump in and we'll get after it. Let's give some. Hey, I'm not just not gonna do it off rip. I'm not Diddy here. I want to be able to give these guys some motivation to make the chat do a little bit of work.
Hey, Doc, are you going tarps off? Like, what are we doing here?
Oh, no, not now. Not now.
Please. Get out of here. Appreciate you, Doc. Thank you so much. You guys can check out more of Doc's work for us at Detroit Podcast, Detroit Lions on SI. John, we'll talk to you next Wednesday. We appreciate you as always, brother.
Thanks, Doc.
Yeah, no doubt about it, but I've never been on a show that's wanted me to take off my clothes so much. Is the baby oil in the mail?
All right.
That's a whole pallet of it for
John
you, man.
Macaroon, the one, the only. We got to double up on.
That's incredible.
We got to double up on
Doc,
breaks
man.
here. We got to hear about our friends from Loom, and then I'll tell you about our friends from Planet Fitness.
Let me tell you, because Doc may have been on the Loom. Who knows, man? Who knows with that guy? But shout out to him and shout out to Loom Cannabis. And Summer just got a serious upgrade, y'all. We already knew about the Buzzin' drinks, 7.5 milligrams. They also have the Buzzin' Maxes, 100 milligrams. But guess what? They found a way to fuse energy drinks and cannabis together. I don't know how they did it, but they did it. And it's called the Buzzin' Energy Drinks from Loom. It's the same smooth THC buzz you love, now paired with a clean boost of caffeine from green tea extract. I'm a big fan of green tea, but made with real fruit juice and no artificial sweeteners. Buzzin' Energy is bold in flavor, light in calories, and built for long summer days and even longer nights, you dirty animals. But you can get all of that at 40 of Loom's locations across the great state of Michigan. You can learn about this by going to loom.com, and don't forget 30% off your entire order online or in store. Use code WSN30. Go get yours today.
And if you want to take your shirt off like Doc, you'd probably want to get into shape first at Planet Fitness because it is for everyone. Over 2,700 clubs nationwide with 50 in Metro Detroit. I just got my black card last week, hitting the one over here in Royal Oak. It's beautiful. You can go to any club you so choose. They got, again, over 2,700. You get access to that black card, and you can get access to the hydro massage, other innovative amenities. You bring a free guest anytime. Just $24.99 a month. You can't beat it. We're all strong on this planet. Planet Fitness.
Dan Campbell is in redemption mode.
No, make no mistake. It's not revenge he's after. It's a reckoning.
And Woodward Sports is here to cheer on the Detroit Lions every snap. Don't miss a moment of Detroit Lions coverage. Follow Woodward Sports on all social media platforms now.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
Planet Fitness now has even more best-in-class strength equipment. Join today for $1 down and save.
We're stepping it up.
We're not slowing down.
Finding new face, new focus.
Love that new equipment smell.
So, you in?
Join the club today. Save when you join for just $1 down, $15 a month. Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet.
Drive energy pouches give me the energy and clarity to find and beat the shit out of every opportunity that shows its face.
Live and direct, I'm back on set action. Create the wave, we cannonball splash 'em. Mic cord swinging, get your head chopped. Point blank, dead stop. 16 balls in a headlock.
Drive energy pouches are for the people who actually want to win, not for the crybabies out there who are happy with a participation award. There's zero sugar, so give Thrive a try.
Go.
Thank you to all the fans for making Woodward Sports your #1 online destination for Detroit sports. We promise not to drop the ball.
Buying a home or refinancing is a big decision, and just like in sports, you need the right team behind you. That's why we're proud to welcome Supreme Lending to the Woodward Sports family. As a full-service lender, they boast a 99% close-on-time rate and a 97% customer satisfaction score. But here's the game changer. When you apply for an eligible loan, mention Woodward Sports, and you'll receive up to $500 off your appraisal. To score this deal, call the numbers on your screen today and talk to Chad and Chris at Supreme Lending today.
Let me tell you guys about Art and Jake's. There are regular sports bars, and then there's Art and Jake's. Nobody else can even come close on game day with over 80 wall-to-wall TVs, 22 draft beers on tap, and a menu packed with fan favorites. They've got exactly what you're looking for. Make sure you scan the QR code there right by my face on the screen, or download the A&J mobile app to join AJ's fan club, and follow them at Art and Jake's on socials. Find a location near you today. It's a sports bar setting with a fine dining flavor.
We're back. It's crunch time here on Woodward Sports. Ryan's reaction, man, it's good seeing you, bro. Haven't seen you in a while. He's just laying in the hospital, 15 minutes, kidney transplant.
Oh, man.
Thanks, y'all, for entertaining me through this. Prayers to you, bro. That's
prayers,
a
man.
massive deal. And the fact that we're even entertaining you
shout out to tuning in.
Means the world. So it's good seeing you. Ryan's reaction, man. Used to be in the chat all the time.
We love Ryan's reaction, man. Get well soon, man. You're gonna be all right. Gonna be all right.
It's good to see you, brother. Let's get to some super chats here. If I missed any, tell me. I know we had a couple through the Doc interview.
A lot of Labartney chiming in.
Yeah, because I got Labartney's 5 at Motor City Patriot. P.S. The new midday show is ass. Okay.
I thought we made up. I thought it was all good.
He trolling y'all out of love, I feel like.
Well, his midday show is we technically the midday show.
Yeah. You are.
I guess we are. Yeah.
You are.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome.
He's trolling out of love.
Shout out Labartney. And then the next super chat is from Labartney too. $5. Shout out KG for his comment on Aleem.
Shout out to you, man.
Labartney, $5. Yep, I'm an Audi or a Jaguar, and I suck. All right. Appreciate the 5 again.
Shout out Labartney.
Appreciate the $5 again. Shout out again to KG.
Shout out Labartney, man. Much love. Leave my guys alone, man. They work hard here.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I kind of respect
the persistence on it.
Yeah, he's consistent
I
for
do.
sure. He's definitely consistent.
I respect it. Freddie Felt, my guy. Appreciate the $2. Just confirmed I will be in the stew from our B-Day, June 25th, 26th.
There we go. Come on, Freddie.
Hey, Gemini season, man.
We
got
to get a birthday cake for him.
My birthday Saturday, man. So Gemini, stand up. Gemini, stand up.
Here we go. Did I miss any super chats, Caleb? I think I got them all there.
I think we're I
Caught
think
up?
we're good. Yeah. LeBartney shouted out a couple people. I don't know if you read these. Shout out Mike Weary with the $4.99, and also shout out at JFL for the $4.99. Those are both from LeBartney. LeBartney, we love you a lot.
We love you, LeBartney. There should be no beef here. There's no beef.
I don't think there's beef.
But if you ever want to get back at him, all you got to do is say MD's name. Invoke his name.
Oh,
yeah.
That's like
I was about to say. I'm just putting it out there. Sorry, LeBartney.
How about every time he sends something bad, we'll just rip the name real quick.
Okay, I think that's fair.
I think it's fair. It's like a shot for shot.
Cali Mexi says, I was wondering if Woodward Sports was on during Quinn Trisha era or before. How would all you guys be feeling like? Thank you, Brad and Dan, for at least letting us debate over Super Bowl talks. Could have been worse.
It is cool that we get to, like, the arguments now in 2026, where it's literally we're debating like how to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Back then, it was like just fire everyone. This is the worst thing of all time. We've never had good football ever in our lives.
Yeah, I mean,
so I get that.
Woodward did start at the tail end of the Patricia era.
I was there. I was there right when Dan was hired.
Yeah,
that's when I was brought in, right before he was hired. And because I was here when they were meeting with Arthur Smith. They met with Arthur Smith. There was the Matt Campbell.
Yep. Allegedly, he was signed to a contract.
Allegedly, yeah. And then Dan Campbell. So I do remember those days. I remember Dan's first season, and people wanted him fired after year one.
Yeah,
it was bad.
So yeah, it was
a
bad.
lot of games.
So I mean, both things can be true. You can sit here and say it's a blessing to be able to have these conversations about a Super Bowl, but it's also part of the equation.
You play the games to win.
You play the game to win, and once you're in this, you go from like tier 1 where you're like we stink to tier 2. You're like, oh wow, we're making the playoffs. And then once you're at tier 2, you're like, okay, how do we get to that tier 3 where we're winning a Super Bowl?
And that's the hardest tier to get to.
It's
easy to take the Lions, who have been bad for a decade, or not a decade, but a century, and turn them around. That's
think about the amount of teams that have been in that kind of section of the NFL where they get good and they just can never get over that hump. And it's like, I think it happens more often than not. It's so hard to get over that hump, and some teams are lucky enough to do it. I mean, even the Seahawks, they've done it twice in the last 20 years. But other teams get there, like the Bengals and stuff, and I mean, the Bengals have incredible talent. They just never can get there. They just can't.
Yeah, like we talk about the Steelers' sustained success. Yeah, they've had that, but at least they've cashed some in my lifetime. I've seen 2 of them, so just saying.
The 49ers, they've been there for how long? They just have not they can't cash one in.
But look at their history, though. Illustrious history.
They do. Yep, they do have a lot of Super Bowls.
What's this? What the comment about? Where is this at? It was. Dang it, I lost it. But it was basically who has the bigger house, Neil or Doc?
I haven't seen Neil's
Woodward
house.
Cribs. Who
The
do an
Woodward
episode
Cribs.
I would love. We should do that.
That'd
Doc
be good content.
versus Neil. They might be just neighbors, actually.
Yeah, I ain't know Doc had it like that.
Yeah, he
big,
does.
boy.
And he might be. Him and Neil just might be neighbors.
Yeah,
they might be in the same.
John Lord said that. Yeah, Woodward Cribs.
Woodward Cribs is hilarious.
Oh, Labartney, by the way, another $5 said, "I work hard for my super chats. No stress. Just don't mention MD. KG knows. Hey, I'm gonna pull a Neil. All right, let's be fair. Let's call it both ways. We work hard for our show. No stress. Just don't say we suck. KG knows.
Yeah.
Same thing. I'll hit you back with your own.
LeBartney, I think we could earn some trust in your friendship. We will not say the name that you want us to say. We'll stick with MD, and we'll love you, and you love us, and we'll have a trusting, loving relationship.
That's it. I think it's a fair negotiation there.
Shout out LeBartney.
I feel like I'm Brad Holmes negotiating for a trade right now.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to say we stink, and that's hey, go ahead.
No, he said we're okay.
But if he says that, then we can say MD's name.
No.
Also got a tad bit of breaking news. It's a little off topic, though. It's about our Detroit Pistons.
Oh, here we go.
It's from a Bleacher Report from The Athletic. General sense is star center will agree, who was Jalen Duren, will agree to a 5-year deal with the Pistons, likely to get $200 million.
What's that AAV? 200 divided by 5.
200 for 5.
40 million. Yeah. Love it. Yeah. All in on that.
Yeah.
I know I'm the guy here at Woodward that's like against the Jalen Duren thing. 40 to 42, we're fine.
Yeah.
If you get Jalen Duren at $40 million for 5 years, like, yeah, okay, is he going to get better? Yeah, I do know that. Is he going to turn into Bam Adebayo? Probably not. But if you're getting him at 40 years for $40 million for the next 5, that's good.
That's Jared Allen plus inflation.
Yep. Yeah. That's the cap going up. That's the right price range. So I'm fine with that.
And he's younger with an upside. I like that. If that's the deal, that's fair. I'm cool with that.
Trajan Langdon cooked if that's the deal. Like he went to his obviously his agent, and they sat down and they came together. I think it's fair to say like Jalen and his agent are aware of like, hey, yeah, I underperformed.
Yeah.
You know, like you don't have much leverage in that sense. Though.
No, you don't.
You really don't. So I think that's fair.
5 years, 200 million. Yeah, I'll take it.
40 was that price that all of us said like that's it right there.
Yeah,
that's the number.
So.
Art says, I can score 9 points in the playoffs. Get me $200 million.
I'm real shit, but for real, man.
I don't know. Well, hey, I don't know. I can't speak on that, Art. I don't know. I don't know your capabilities. Maybe.
I'll at least get a board.
There's some people that are upset with 40, though, which I think that's where I'm like, all right, I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Yeah.
I
you got to pay them, bro.
Guys, I'm with you when you're right. Okay, 40, we got to be like, 40's good. You know, you got to factor in inflation and, you know, the money going up. Everything factored in. 40 is about what he's worth.
And remember, y'all, he's still very, very young. He's still very, very raw as a talent. He's going to improve.
And even if you don't think he'll live up to it, that factors in. If I'm his agent, I'm like, he's 22.
Can I like with the Jalen Duren thing? Can we like this question with it where it's like last year he actually made a really big jump. I think we all can agree on that.
All-NBA and All-Star.
He made a massive jump last offseason. That gap is not going to happen again this offseason. Like for how big of a jump that was, that expectation's a little low. Does he have room to improve? Yeah, he does. Is it that much again? No. So I think that's where the expectations is. You're probably going to get the same Jalen Duren. The only jump that you want to look for is you have to wait until the postseason.
Yeah.
Like nothing in the regular season is going to change my mind until I see, all right, in the postseason, can he do it? Like LeBron was on his podcast and said it. He was like, hey, with Jalen Duren, it was probably a first real postseason kind of nerve thing. And if that's the case, then I'm fine. Like then you're getting him at a steal for $40 million. Because if next year he shows up and he's 17-10 for you in the postseason, dude, I'm all for that. Like that. Yes, I'm in on that. That's the only jump that I'm looking for next year.
Freddie, appreciate the $2. He says Duren deserves $200K, not $200 million. JD equals booty juice.
Booty juice.
I would say booty juice, Freddie, but
I mean, wow.
Yeah.
There's like some things you say, like if you're called booty juice, it's one of the most disrespectful things
I would say so.
I think Freddie, that's
sure.
I mean, booty juice. There's levels. Booty juice has to be at a different level. Tim says he's 22 and he's better than Lambeer. Lanier and Wallace are the same age. At the same age, let's let him grow.
Yeah, that's it.
Hey, by the way, some NFL news as well here. Everyone around the office here, it's felt like everyone was asking with the Myles Garrett trade. Well, the Packers are about to get Josh Sweat. Ian Rappaport just tweeted out the Cardinals are not trading Josh Sweat.
I saw that.
So that's good. We're good. We're not getting Michael Parsons, Josh Sweat situation in Green Bay.
Thank God.
Yeah,
thank God.
Hoofhearted in the chat was saying earlier, and it's a funny comment. It's like if you're the Cardinals in that division, and you got the 49ers, Rams, and Seahawks, like, dude. And you're sitting there, you're Josh Sweat, you're like,
yeah.
like, I'm going to get my bag, and then I'm going home.
Yeah, that's it.
You know,
at least the weather's nice.
At least the weather's nice. Like, I'm out, man. I can't imagine being see, this is the conversation again, being a Cardinals fan.
Yeah. I can't imagine being Jared Verse right now. Did y'all see the video of him walking into the Browns facility?
No, is it bad?
He didn't look happy. I'll just say that. He was forced. You can tell he was forcing it a little bit.
Imagine if you are Jared Verse. You're the best defensive player on that team, basically. And you're on the Rams, and you're sitting there. You're like, dude, I have a chance next year to win a Super Bowl. You're training for it. Right. And then one morning, you just get a call and say, hey, sorry, you're going to Cleveland.
Like, you're probably thinking, probably thinking, like, I'm one of the only safe players on this team. Like, there's no shot I get traded. Like, I'm buying a house. I'm staying here for a while, then you could trade it.
Yeah, Les Snead probably being a player under him, you're probably like, dude, no one's safe. Like, Jared Verse just got flipped. And that dude was, like you said, probably the safest player. Labartney, appreciate the $5. He says, all respect.
Shout out Labartney.
Shout out KG.
Everyone,
shout out Labartney.
Respect.
I stand on business for Labartney, man. No Labartney slander at all.
Danny G says, not to ruin this fun moment, but Duren is 22 and will improve a bunch. Guess who else is 22? Wemby. The league is effed, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You ain't lying about that.
Yeah, you ain't lying.
I can't wait to watch the Knicks get crushed in 5.
I'm excited for the NBA Finals, to be honest. I really am.
You could do let's be real. You can do a whole segment on the finals, and at the end be like, Spurs in 5.
Yeah.
Talk about all the Knicks, the problems the Knicks and pros, and like, Spurs in 5.
Bro, the emotion that Wemby showed in just winning the Western Conference Final, like, this shit means something.
Yeah,
actually, y'all in trouble. He cares about the game, y'all.
I forgot. I did this on my own. I didn't tell anyone. I have a bet. I put a bet. I didn't do it in 5, but I did Spurs in 7. I put a bet on it.
I like that. That's what I was going to say. That's
it's like plus 500.
I think it goes 7, and I don't think the Spurs are as much of a lock to win as
I think it goes 7 just because I think in New York the Knicks get a couple. I don't think the Knicks are going to go. I think it's going to go the full distance, and I think it's going to be in San Antonio, Game 7. Wemby goes off, that crowd, everything, and I think the Spurs win it.
You almost don't imagine a Wemby, they lose the finals. Like how motivated that dude. We probably don't want to deal with that dude.
I'm telling y'all,
because then he's coming
he
back.
cares about the game. I know that's crazy to say in 2026.
He's rocking blue light glasses and shit.
Yeah, man.
He's on a different
I'm telling you,
he worked out with Buddhist monks in the summer, bro.
That's why I tweeted it out. I said Cade needs to go work out with the monks. I tweeted out. I said Cade knows what he needs to do.
Buddhist
this
monks in the summer. I mean, he's different, man.
He shaved his head and he went and worked out with monks,
bro.
I think we got to. Where is that? What country is that? We need to send Cade there.
To Tibet, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know where the monks.
We need to reach out to Cade and his family. We need to get him out there to Tibet.
Maybe Calvin Shepard's with the monks. Apparently, there's some self-reflecting he's been doing with this defense. And we're going to talk about it when we get back. He was on Fox 2, talked about the defense. We asked Doc about it, but we're going to have a conversation. Change is coming to the defense. Potentially. But first, we got to hear about our friends from Thrive.
Let me tell you guys about Thrive. You know who could use some Thrive?
Who?
Probably Kelvin Shepard to keep some energy with this defense. Most people think energy just comes in a 16-ounce full can full of sugar and neon-colored liquid, but you know better. It's time to upgrade your game with Thrive energy pouches. It's not your daddy's dip, your Dan Campbell's dip. It's a tobacco-free, nicotine-free mental powerhouse packing 300 milligrams of clean and smart caffeine, including alpha GPC and L-theanine. No jitters, no sugar crash, no bloating. It's Thrive. It can be found on dipstop.com, and you can use promo code WSN for 15% off that order. And exclusively, you can find them at all Market Fresh and Market Square locations. It's Thrive, clean energy, zero distractions. They just effing work.
Game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports. Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
Let me tell you about our friends over at Peer Psychiatry. We talk about sports every day, the wins, the losses, the pressure, the expectations, but in real life, it's never that easy. And at Woodward Sports, you're never alone, and neither is your mental health journey. Peer Psychiatry provides personalized psychiatric care designed specifically for you, not a cookie-cutter plan. They got 16 locations in Michigan, 2 in Ohio. They make getting help accessible and comfortable, so if you're thinking about taking that first step, please visit peerpsychmi.com.
I would say, I'll start with the back end. I would say not quote unquote change, but everybody understands with the nature of our safety spot right now, with the uncertainty in my man Kirby Joseph and Brian Branch, 2 all-pro caliber players, but with the uncertainty there, the front office addressed it and they attacked it. And via free agency, and then with an undrafted free agent, bringing in a guy like Chuck Clark, proven vet, 10-year guy, played a lot of snaps in his league. My man Izzy coming over from Tampa. We've seen him on the other side of the ball. It feels like every year, multiple times a year, with our kind of run-ins with the Buccaneers, and we know the caliber of player he is. My man AB, undrafted free agent, bringing back Avonte Maddox. So when you talk competition, depth within, and the ability and opportunity to compete, we don't know what it's going to look like for the return of BB and Kirby. So who are those guys going to be? And then the nickel position, a critical position within the defense, wanting to expand upon how much volume we use the nickel. And who is that going to be? It was Amik Robertson the last 2 years. Mm-hmm. So who is that going to be? It's a lot of guys that's in flux, but a guy that's kind of popped to me early, Roger McCreary's come in, done a great job. And then when you get to the D-line, the big question, and everybody, I hate that I heard it because it's a little tick disrespectful to the guys on the roster, but who's the guy opposite Aiden Hutchinson? That's kind of been the hot theme, the talk
for
within
4 years.
NFL. Yeah, exactly. And I would say last year is Al-Qadim Muhammad. I mean, is 12 sacks not good enough for us? But I get it, and I understand the concern, and the front office do as well. So they attacked it and addressed it via draft, bringing in Derek Moore, a solid player. When people ask me to describe Derek Moore in one word, I say a dog and a complete football player. You can forget the flash and all that. He's going to put his face on you. And then they went out in free agency and did a great job kind of netting a guy like DJ Wonnum going into his 7th season, a guy that we saw for 4 years within the division in Minnesota, very familiar with him. In full disclosure, he did go to my high school, Stevenson High School in Stone Mountain, Georgia. So I'm very familiar with him. Guy like Peyton Turner, another former first-round pick, kind of a journeyman type career, 3rd team in 5 years. I believe the light's going to come on for him this year. And then the undrafted guys, the Lucas, what is my man Ahmed going to look like this year? So that's kind of what you hear when you hear competition, when you hear depth within. It's real. It's not lip service. The players walk in and they feel it every day, and they're attacking it as such.
Hey, Chef.
Big shout out again, Fox 2, the sports office.
Yeah. Dan Miller and
the
the
Hammer.
Hammer.
Miller, the Hammer. They do great
Love
stuff.
them, man.
They even had Birchia in there. Shout out Birchia. I've seen him plenty of times. I had Justin Rogers. They do great stuff. And right there was Calvin Shepard talking about the secondary, the defensive line, the competition that he now knows they have in the D-line room. Like I said, the secondary. And I think my big takeaway from that is, the players and the competition, which we've spoken to about a lot. They do have a lot of guys competing for spots, and I love that. It's what Dan Campbell preached at the end of the season. But to me, the big little nugget there was the nickel position. That was the biggest part of what he said. He said the nickel position in which, they want to use more because that's where the NFL's heading. And we're going to get to another clip later in the segment where he talks more about maybe schematic changes or looking at other defenses in the NFL. But I think the nickel, I've talked about that. I said that we talked about OTAs, and my big thing I'm looking at just for the offseason is the nickel competition. Keith Abney, Roger McCreary, Christian Izzian. He's got the versatility to play it. So, we could talk about who plays safety, if Brian and Kirby, what's going on with that. The other side of Hutch, what goes on there. But to me, the nickel position is the spotlight, and I'm excited to see how that plays.
For him, too, just to specifically just say, hey, Roger McCreary, because I know that's a spot that there are – we saw when they added all of these secondary players, all of these guys could have played nickel, majority of them. They've played safety, they've played nickel, they've played outside. They went out and got guys that are very versatile, and I think with Roger McCreary being the one that's standing out, that's massive because it kind of reminds me, like Roger McCreary never was like really bad in his career. He was always a guy with high upside, and you know who it reminds me of, like the Amik Robertson, like a guy who has played a lot of football but needs an opportunity to be in kind of that spotlight position and put himself in a spot to where he actually is getting those opportunities. So for him to bring out Roger McCreary going into week 2 of OTAs, I think that's a positive for Lions fans. I do. I think you should look at it as a positive because that's a position that we're all looking at. The one thing too I take away a little bit from this little Calvin Shepard, that point about the defensive line. I don't know. This is where I love Shep, man, but it's like, when are we going to learn? Like, why do we have to be like, I don't like the fact people are always asking about who's across from Hutch. Like, isn't 12 sacks enough for you? Like, from AQM? When are we going to – that gives me the same vibes as the, hey, let's take 4 of these runs away and we're giving up really 4 yards a carry instead of 5. Like, that's the vibe I get from that. I don't know if you guys got that vibe, but it's like, Shep, like you 12 sacks is cool, yeah. Dude, he did 7 to 8 of those in 3 games that were meaningless and you lost. Like, so, like, you know this, Shep. He knows. You got to get to the quarterback. And, he had a lot of sacks. Is numbers always the thing? No. Is Jared Verse, was he the best edge rusher or the best defensive lineman for the Rams last year? Yeah. Did he have the most sacks? No. I'm pretty sure Puna 4 had like 11 or 12 plus, correct? Yeah. So it's like the numbers don't always tell the story. It's cool to look at them and be like, well, we actually did have a 12-sack guy or 11-sack guy with Aiden Hutchinson. Is that good enough for you guys? Well, yeah, hey, your defense was 24th or 25th in the NFL.
And they didn't re-sign AQM.
Exactly.
Time to get to the quarterback was
it was the last.
disgusting.
It was like 28th or 29th in the NFL. It was
Disgusting.
terrible. And to Jeff's point, it's like, hey, Shep, well, if AQM was so good for you, and we all shouldn't be asking that question, why isn't AQM on the roster right now?
There you go.
Why did you let him walk for, what was it, $6 million to Tampa?
Yeah.
There's a reason, right? You want to upgrade that spot. So that's why I love Shep, man, and I still think he has a lot ahead of him. But it's like some of these remarks where it comes down to like, oh, take some of these runs away. Oh, isn't 12.5 sacks good enough for you guys, you Lions fans? Like, dude, come on. Like, we want a competent defense. You didn't have that last year. Like, stick your chest out and say that. Like,
and he did save himself because he did say it. I understand it. I hope he does.
Yeah, he brought it back.
Because he brought it back. He's like, and I understand it because, like, of course he does. I mean, they haven't had a consistent answer there, obviously. So people bring that up. But to your point, like, they got rid of him for a reason. They brought in DJ Wanham on a similar contract because DJ Wanham, although he might not get 12 sacks, you know what he can do? KG, defend the run.
Absolutely.
Like, that's what
AQM was barbecue chicken in terms of running. Whenever he was on the field, they targeted him.
And they had to stop taking him off the field. I'm pretty sure his snap count from run defense, I think it was just kept getting lower and lower. Like, they just couldn't have him out there.
Yeah. Well, let's play the other clip, Caleb, and then we'll chop it up about that. This is Calvin talking about the maybe some schematic changes coming to the defense.
We put out the call to some of our viewers for some questions. Let me throw some of these at you. One of them asks here, how much do you look at defenses that are playing at an elite level like Seattle and Houston and see what they're doing around the league? How much do you look at other teams?
Oh, absolutely. That's a part of my self-scout when I'm looking at myself. And then just in general, you always want to know. You said you want not worried about other people. BS. You want to know what the people at the highest level within your career is doing. So I stepped back and I pulled the top 5 defenses. But what you also got to do is understand who you are and who they are. We can't go play a certain style that some of these teams play, whether that be at personnel, complementary football, and what we're trying to do here, knowing the offense that we have, so on and so forth. So there are things I looked at. I looked at Seattle. I looked at Houston. I looked at Jacksonville. A lot of these teams that rank high, whether that be turnover category, total defense, or whatever, but limiting points is the goal here. And what did they do? And if something that's applicable to us was there, we applied it. And I'll be lying to you, Dan, if I said I didn't kind of pick and prod and some things that kind of felt right within what we do in our core principles, we applied it. And I think it's going to make us better.
I don't think there's a...
Yeah, he's spot on. Well, he's spot on with the part of you got to limit points. If you look at just Super Bowl champions that weren't quarterbacked by Brady and Mahomes, going back to 2010, 2025 Seahawks, first in points allowed. 2024 Eagles, second in points allowed. 2021 Rams, 15th. 2017 Eagles, 4th. 2015 Broncos, 4th. 2013 Seahawks, 1st. Like, we keep going. Limiting points is a big part of this whole thing. You got to limit points.
That's the number one thing on defense.
And obviously coming with that is also, you pass, you can factor in the other numbers like sacks and interceptions or turnovers and, passing defense. But overall, it's limiting points. Yeah. And I'm not talking about like a bend, don't break defense where you're terrible, but then you stop them at the goal line. That's obviously, it's good to limit points, but these teams can do more than that. They don't always. It's not.
They have too much talent.
Exactly. So to Calvin's credit, like I'll say this about Calvin, like I love what he said there. I do, and I do think what he said applies to the Brad Holmes conversation because
absolutely,
literally spot on.
I don't have the personnel, for lack of better words.
Let's look at hey Brad, what are the top 3 to 4 teams doing to win Super Bowls?
His quote was literally what we said yesterday. He said, "Oh, I don't look at other teams." BS. Yeah. I'm looking at all what the best in my job, in my profession, are doing.
You should.
It's literally with the Brad thing. I said the last 10 Super Bowl winners have never done what Brad's doing. So it's like, hey, Brad, go look at what some of these teams are doing. This is honestly,
I love what Calvin said.
This was the best question that Calvin Shepard's ever answered since he's been to DC. Like, I think this is what Lions fans have been waiting for, is for Calvin Shepard to go look at, hey, what did the Seattle Seahawks do to go win a Super Bowl? What did the Eagles do? What are the Jaguars, who had a good defense last year? The Houston Texans, yeah, they have the personnel, but they're also out there, out scheming offenses as well to go win. So, like, that's what I think the Calvin Shepard mindset needs to be, is like, hey, I understand we might not have the same personnel right now with injuries or this, but schematically wise, what are these other teams doing to get advantages over offenses? Yeah. Which it felt like the last year, like especially last year with Shep, that there might have been moments where we got out schemed.
Yeah.
And that was like the Giants game or the Steelers game. Like you just got out coached.
Yeah.
Like point blank period.
You can't really change a scheme mid-season. So
no, well, that's where it's like now he's doing it.
Yeah, and this is why I do cut him a little slack because, like I said, to me, him and AG were very, very similar in ways. Before the injuries, you had a arguably top 10 defense. And then midway through the season, once attrition sets in, you got to look for other options, and your defense suffers because of that. You can talk about the level of depth that they added to this team, but overall, there's only so much you can do when you're in the throes of it, So that's why I cut him a break. But he does need to be better this year.
That's why in this question, him answering it the way he did, that makes me feel a little bit better about Dan Campbell bringing him back. Because even yesterday when the heavies were going at it, I was going at easy. Like, dude, easy. Like, I think it's clear why he should have been fired. I think, and Jeff, I think we've been on the same point of it. Like, hey, I wouldn't have been mad if he got fired and they brought in someone with experience. Because you just don't know if he's going to – because when we were at the Combine, we had dinner with Doc and got some drinks and dinner with Doc after he spoke with Kelvin Shepherd. And, again, that conversation that we had was like the feeling you got was he's not changing anything. Like, he's like, we just don't have the personnel to do what the Seahawks did. Well, it's like you can create that. Like, you can add players and you can kind of formulate how to do that.
Yeah, no, I get
like,
that.
you don't have to just sit up here and say, hey, we're not going to do it. Like, that's not us. Like, no, like – try to adapt to today's NFL. Do what those teams are doing. So I feel a lot better hearing Kelvin Shepherd actually being like, that was point of this offseason was I'm going to go watch those top defenses. That makes me feel better because the Combine, we heard something completely different. If we're just calling what it is. From what we're told, at the Combine, it was a different conversation. So this feels a lot better.
Yeah, I agree. Callie Mack says, Jeff, so you're telling me defense wins championships. Who knew? Well,
I feel like it's been
it's the
thing
tale
forever.
all this time. It really is. Who farted? He says, it sounds like he is trying to find a workable plan, which means he doesn't have one. Lions are probably cooked on defense this year.
All
Okay.
right, relax, man.
Who farted?
Relax, bro.
We got I mean, I get it. I understand it. And I'm definitely skeptical of the defense. No question. Personnel mostly. But, Kelvin, I get it. But we got to put this kind of dissect the interview.
Yeah,
you gotta like what he said. I mean,
and to me, it's like it's not like he never shown he was competent at some points. Like at some points last year,
the beginning of the year they had a good
look
defense.
Competent.
Yeah.
It'd be different if it was just asked the whole year. Then I'd be like, yeah, you probably should have fired him. But just give him time to grow. That's all.
We were talking about Legion of Whom at one point.
Yeah,
right.
we were.
But then right after that, it was literally the Legion of Who.
Yeah.
Like, it changed quick.
It did.
It changed literally within like a 24-hour span.
But bro, the fact they had a lean playing edge last year should tell you something. I don't think they wanted.
And again, but that was on Shep though. You know, that's him.
But at that time, who was Marcus Davenport was hurt. Josh Pascal, MIA. Like you didn't have a lot of options at the other spot.
So. I'm just the biggest thing for me is like I think the change from the Combine interview to this one. I think it's just like this makes me feel.
No, I get that.
I think I feel a lot more comfortable with Kelvin Shepherd at DC, knowing that he actually, I don't want to say took the advice of fans, but he understood like, hey, yeah, I have to go look at what these other defenses are doing.
I don't think he had a choice because if you look at Dan Campbell's comments at the end of the season, like he was very about, hey, I took a month just studying the defense, and he immediately was like, there was things that we could have done that I felt we could have done better, things that I want to implement. So the fact that Dan Campbell was on this early, like as soon as the season ended, that gave me confidence. Okay, there's got to be a change.
It's the first time Dan's ever done that, by the way.
Yeah.
At the Combine when he said that, he said, I've never taken time to go sit with the defense in off seasons. He said this is the first time since I've been the head coach of the Lions that I have sat down and I've spent this much time with the defense.
He spent a month on it, y'all. Like
and that's good.
It bothered him.
And maybe that was something with Shep to where Shep, hey, he needed a Dan Campbell in the room to be like, hey, this is what it needs to be. Yeah. You need to go look at those defenses. Like let's stop being like we're stuck on our ways, because with AG, like call a spade what it is, right? Like AG was good, but he was like, we're doing it my way or it's the highway.
Yeah.
Like we're not changing anything, whether it was run defense, whether it was pass defense. Like we're doing it the way I want to do it.
Yeah.
And then Shep, obviously AG's guy. So I think that was one of the big questions that everyone had was like, is Shep going to be like AG and just stick with his guns and what he's about, or is he going to actually go out there and like look at the Seahawks and look at these teams?
Yeah.
And it feels like Dan sitting down with him for that month and being like, this is what we're going to do, might have changed a little bit. Like, okay, we need to adapt.
And on the flip side of that, you got to give them the ingredients to cook.
Right.
The same way
Which
we
I
would
think
talk about
secondary-wise, like he said, he wants to, the Seahawks play a lot. They have that nickel out there with Amon-Ra.
Yeah.
They went and got Roger McCreary. And I know that might not be a guy that we're like, oh, that's a Amon-Ra, but it's a dude that could play in the nickel. And when Brian Branch, he could play there. Keith Abney, he could do that. Like, it's clear that they were very intentional about what they were doing this offseason.
What do you think, Caleb? Calvin Shepard, you got faith? You bought in?
I mean, yeah, I thought an interesting. I mean, you guys talked about it a little bit. I thought it would an interesting part of the interview was him kind of talking about the guy opposite of Hutch, kind of making a little bit of a joke out of it because I mean that's what we've been asking for a long time as Lions fans. Where is the pass rushing gonna come outside of Hutch? But again, this is all coaches talk. I think he's very well spoken, so everything you hear from him is going to be you're going to be confident from it. But I just need to see it, man. And I mean, he got some new pieces this season, and I like that he's taking some stuff from better defenses in the league, like he brought up the Seahawks and everything, looking at teams like that. But yeah, I mean, again, he's very well spoken. So I'm going to be confident every time he speaks, but just got to see it. It's kind of one of those things.
Hoof Hearted says overall last year Shep was better on yards allowed plus points allowed combined than AG ever was. So there's that at least. AG was awful. Shep was at least around 20 instead of being around 30.
Well, hold on a sec. Is that? Can we confirm that? Because I'm 90% sure AG's last year they were top 10, I believe.
Yeah, in scoring defense. Or I think they were. I think they were higher.
I could pull it up right here. I have it right now.
They were higher than they were prior years.
Yeah,
definitely. But,
scoring defense? Hold on a sec. My computer's going crazy. A quiz just popped up. I don't want to take a quiz.
Hot singles in your area. Hot MILFs in your area.
Yeah. AG, by the way.
2 minutes away. With her legs open, ready. Love those ads.
You find it yet, or?
Yeah, so the Detroit Lions last year were 22nd in scoring defense in the NFL. The year before, I think they were 7th in the NFL. So they went from, and AG's last year, they were 7th in the NFL, and then they dropped all the way to 22 with
a lot more turnovers.
So I don't know what those stats were.
Yeah,
I don't know what the stats were you were getting those stats from, but it was a clear drop off.
Yeah.
And again, I've told you, I look at, like, we can look at yards, all that. In my opinion, if you give up 500 yards, like, I don't care as long as you're keeping them to 15 points. Or like, it doesn't matter. Like the Vikings.
Points per game.
The Vikings game a couple years ago, they gave up like 600 passing yards to, I don't know, Mullins or whatever his name was. Yeah. But they still won the game, and then they, I don't know what the score was, but it's like, hey, if you can limit those points and you can get stops in the red zone, that's what matters. That's what AG did his last year here. They got stops in the red zone, they had turnovers, and they didn't allow a lot of points.
Chuck says, Jeff, the biggest difference on that, AG had Joseph erasing drives a lot in the red zone. We dearly missed that last year. Kirby's a massive loss. I'm not going to sit here and say. I mean, like you can't underestimate how valuable he is. Let's head to break here. We'll get back. We'll talk some more Detroit Lions and continue on. If you're watching live, we got 280 plus people in here. Hit the like button on the stream. We appreciate every single one of you guys watching. And also, I want to give out a shout out. Woodward Tigers is going to go live after Braylon and Anson.
Hey,
so
shout out. Shout out my guys.
Maz will be on there. So after the Tigers game, post-game show, they'll be live. But first, got to hear about our friends from Gold Crown, KG.
I will tell them about Gold Crown, and I know about Gold Crown, man. The Royal Junior Jesters were pretty good, but they got the big boys now, and that's what I'm all about, man. The Royal Jesters, these are not your average pre-rolls. I'm talking 1.5 grams each. That's bigger than some of y'all blunts, man. And they are quad infused, Keef coated, live resin infused, THCA, diamonds, and terpenes, all packed into one. Michigan made, top tier, no shortcuts. Next time you hit the dispo, don't think, just ask for the Royal Jesters, because if you're gonna smoke, why won't you smoke like royalty, y'all? Come on.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
It's game on at Art & Jake's. Wings, burgers, pizza, and ice-cold drinks served up with attention to detail. Wall-to-wall TVs, great service, and a vibe that keeps your crew coming back. Art & Jake's, a sports bar setting with a fine dining flavor.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
All right, let me tell you about Founders. We're excited to welcome our new partners over at Founders Brewing in the legendary all-day IPA. This year marks the 15th anniversary of All Day IPA. It helped define the session IPA category, but its fans are what made it last. It's citrusy, crisp, refreshing with a perfectly balanced taste. They're incredible, by the way, and 4.7 ABV. It's built to go the distance for the entire game. So next time you're watching the game, make it an all-day IPA from Founders. And also, please drink responsibly.
We're back. Crunch time, Woodward Sports. We got more to get to. And today we're whipping out the top 5. You guys love top 5s in Woodward Sports, right? Plenty of those things. You had top 5 on Big D Energy. We're doing top 5 Detroit Lions players with a chance to break out in 2026. These are guys to watch out for. We'll fire it away. You can go first if you want. You could take it away. Give out your top 5 breakout players, and then I'll get into mine.
Yeah, start reading. I'm gonna put it on the back wall, but just go ahead and start.
All right. Well, my top 5 here. The first one, I'll do number 5.
Okay, we'll start 5 to 1.
We'll start 5. Oh, we got the graphic here. Shout out. Well, you see there. Let's do this. Number 1.
Gotta fix it.
We got number 1. I'm just gonna start there. I have Tate Ratledge at number 1. By the way, that's gonna be my number 1 player is Tate Ratledge. I think the biggest thing is when we looked at top 5 breakout players is that a lot of players have, a massive ceiling, and it's like, what are they going to do? Do they have the opportunity to do it? You're laughing over there. What are we laughing about?
The cop out at 5.
Oh, the 5. Right. All right. So at number 5, let's just call it. Let's call it what it is. It's there. It's out there. I put the nickel position because I think that's you could be like player, but I think whoever wins that spot out of the camp,
so they have 2 elite nickels.
Whether it's Roger McCreary, Keith Abney, whoever wins that position at number 5, I think has the opportunity to have a massive year and have a breakout year for themselves.
So they have 2 great nickels.
It's whoever wins that spot.
So they have. I'm asking you a question.
Yeah, I think whoever gets that opportunity to start at that position.
You told in the text you were going Roger McCreary, and I think you saw I was going someone else, and you're like, shit, I got to go nickel position.
No.
Yeah, I think that's what happened.
No.
Got him.
It's definitely not what happened. But I genuinely think whoever wins that position out of camp, that nickel position, I think they have such an opportunity to go out there and make a name for themselves in the NFL. It's the same thing with Meek Robertson. You just saw Meek go get a contract. We couldn't pay him because he outplayed his. Well,
he was bad last year.
He was, but he still got a contract to where it was like, hey, we can't afford that right now because we got other guys, right? But the year before, Meek was good, and when he had the opportunity, so we know the talent that he had. So I think at this nickel position, you just heard Kelvin Shepard say, hey, Roger McCreary is a guy that's standing out at that nickel spot. Maybe I should have gone Roger McCreary. Yeah. I didn't change it because of who you sent me. I just had it there. I genuinely had the thought process of, hey, that's obviously a battle position. Whoever comes out on top there is going to have an opportunity to have a big breakout season. That's why I made it the way it was. Okay. So the number 4, you guys see there, I have Blake Miller, right tackle. This is because he's your first-round pick, the number 17th overall pick, and realistically, he just needs to be better than what Taylor Decker was. That's what it is. And there's an opportunity for him to go into this offensive line. If it's a top 5 offensive line, he's going to be looked at, and it's going to be like, hey, wait a second. You have a legit right tackle as a rookie in that spot. So that's where, for me, I think Blake Miller has an opportunity this year to take a massive step as a rookie to show, hey, this is what you guys have been missing with Taylor Decker. So I had him at number 4. Can we go back to this? There we go. At number 3, this is the one I think people are going to be like, Booner, what are you talking about?
No, I like this one.
If
this happens.
Yes. And in my mind, and I'm going to tell the people this, in my mind, with Derek Barnes, he has everything out in front of him to go out there and have a breakout season. The path is written for him. Alex Anzalone walks. You got paid the $8 million that Alex Anzalone was going to get paid.
Yeah.
You have your whole career in front of you to go out there and prove it. You could go out there and be one of the best, second linebackers in the entire NFL if you want to. And I think he has the skill set to do it. We just haven't seen him put the full thing on paper and on film yet. And once he does that, I think he could be a hell of a linebacker next to Jack Campbell. But I think this is a career year for Derek Barnes. Like, this is a prove it or go home year for him because, hey, you're an $8 million linebacker now. Like, there's expectations. And if he exceeds those expectations, guess what that means? That means he broke out. That's where that line is for him. So I'm going to go Derek Barnes at number 3. Number 2, Tyreek Williams. Guys, I think this one's pretty simple. Tyreek has an opportunity to be better than Aleem McNeil.
Yes.
There's a reason he was drafted in the first round and Aleem McNeil wasn't. He has the talent. He's there. It's about going out there, being comfortable in the NFL, doing it. That was the word. That was the thing that they kept saying last year about Tyreek was, hey, man, he's just getting his feet wet in the NFL. He's trying to get this thing figured out. Once he gets it figured out, Tyreek will be a better player than Aleem McNeil, and that's going to be your Aleem McNeil replacement. So that's why I think this year, if he goes into this full, I love it. One of my favorite things is the same thing with Tate Ratledge, is after a full year of being a rookie, I love to see players coming off that first year because they have now a full first off season of being in the NFL. They know what they have to take care of, like when it comes to, nutrition. They know what they have to work out. They know kind of, what the playbook is. They don't have to worry about that. As a rookie, like all you're thinking about, to learn a new playbook. Is my nutrition good? It's the same thing with Tesla. Like, where do I park? What do I do? Tyreek and Tate Ratledge, both, they have that down now. Like, I expect Tyreek to make a massive jump in year 2, and then going to number 1 there, I expect Tate Ratledge to be an all-pro guard.
All-pro?
No, or sorry, Pro Bowl.
Yeah, I was about to say, that's a big jump.
I always do that.
Yeah.
Pro Bowl, a Pro Bowl right guard. I expect it. Like, to me, that's an expectation for Tate Ratledge this year.
Yeah.
And I think for that, that's like, hey, that's a breakout for a guy like that, a year 2, second-round guard. Like, I think that's a really good breakout year for him. So that's kind of how I broke this down here a little bit. Maybe I could have thrown like Isaac Tesla or a couple guys on there, but I think this is a pretty good, like, if you're looking at breakouts, this feels like a, hey, these are the guys. If these guys break out, your team's going to be good.
I don't have Isaac Tesla, and it's not because I don't think he has the capability. I just don't think the rule. It goes back to the rule thing. I don't know what breaking out would look like. Maybe like a couple hundred yards or whatever he gets, but because
he had 200 yards last year. What a breakout would be maybe 600 to 700.
Yeah, that would be like if someone gets hurt, he steps. I think he'd ball out. But I don't have him on my list either, and I just want people to know it's not. We both agree it's not because he's not capable of having that. I just don't think the role's big enough. I like it though. I think he copped out with the nickel position, but I like it.
I think my explanation was fair.
Well, I got balls.
That's like with Tate Ratledge. There's no position battle at right
I'm pulling a left speed. I got my balls on the table. Number 5, Keith Abney, the rookie. He's breaking out. Okay, he's starting.
Y'all love Keith Abney, man.
I've been talking about it, and I like Roger McCreary. I like what he brings to the table, but I think you're going to see Keith Abney be one of those guys who can't keep up with the field. I said that 2 weeks ago, and I think it's going to trend that way. He should have been drafted way higher, and I think he's just got great instincts and good enough instincts to where I think he could do some really special things in the NFL, I think earlier than people expect, and I'll stand on it. As a rookie, I think he can do those things. Right. So what I mean by breakout is from a 5th-round pick to someone who's like, this dude's a starter. Yeah. Like, later, that's a breakout.
Yeah,
that's a guy who comes in and starts for you. So Keith Abney, to me, is number 5. Number 4, I have Chris Mahogany.
I hope.
And the reason why I have him is because he has an opportunity to be someone people look at as he probably going to lose his job, to solidifying that left guard spot for the Lions for the future, and maybe being a future Pro Bowler or being someone that can be a future the future core of this O-line. So,
are you that confident in him?
No, Willie is a different conversation, but I think he is one of those guys you look at like he's got a great opportunity. He's got guys he's competing with. What has he got? Ben Barch out there, Miles Frazier, Juice Scruggs. Like he goes out there, beats all those guys and starts. He does have that opportunity. And to be honest with you, KG, I think he does win the battle. Okay. I do. I think those guys are all here to compete with him, but he's probably the best option you have. And I did say last year, here's the funny part of this whole thing. I did say last year I thought he would break out. Didn't work out that, so we're running it back.
Yeah,
because guess what? Stock's lower, so we're going back because breakout is.
I know Tate struggled, but Mahogany struggles were way worse if you ask me.
And what I mean by that is, like I said, kind of a fringe starter to a full starter there with breakout.
You got Panay next to him.
What's the confidence level he does that, by the way? Like 1 to 10, where are we at?
I'd say like a 6, 7. 6, about 6, 7.
Okay,
nice.
No meme or anything. Just
I know. Just. That's a very safe answer for me.
Yeah, because it's like
because
I would say 5. You're like in the middle. I think I'm slightly confident. I think that's a better way to say it.
Okay,
I'm confident. But I think 8, 9. You're like, yeah, it's happening.
I think I would go like 5. I'm like right in the middle.
I'm a little higher.
I don't even know what to expect from him.
I have no clue.
But yeah, 3.
The only reason, by the way, I think he's going to be a starter is because he was hanging out with those guys in the offseason. That's it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And then number 3, Tyreek Williams. For obvious reasons, they let go of BJ Reader, they let go of Roy Lopez. That dude's slotting right in to play a lot more football this year, and there's a reason, like Booner said, they drafted him in the first round. So I think he's got a big, big opportunity. Let me get to the Jameson Williams thing because people are probably like, what the hell?
I love that.
See,
there's another level there.
There's another level. And I think where I'm going with it,
Waymo.
I kind of set this up last week, guys, for those who watch every day. We had the conversation about Drew Petzing and J-Mo's involvement. And last year, the first 8 games of the season, I think J-Mo had averaged like 2 catches a game. And he still ended with a career year in yards.
Yeah.
Like, imagine a full year of the involvement he got with Dan Campbell. That dude would have got 1,300 yards for it. He can
Easily.
be. I think Breakout to me he's a certified Pro Bowler, not like a Shedeur Pro Bowler, a legit like he earned it Pro Bowler. And he has a career year again.
Can he get 8 to 10 targets a game, please?
Yeah.
Like, I'm sick of this. Like,
I'm the crazy part about it, though, is like Sam Laporta wasn't there last year. So now Sam Laporta back, it's like, where are these targets coming from?
I don't care. With somebody with that kind of speed, he can flip games.
I agree.
He can flip games. Give him the damn ball.
I agree. But it's like, where do you take it away from Amon-Ra?
I don't care who it comes from.
You take 2 or 3 from Amon-Ra?
Give him the damn ball.
And Danny G, by the way, shout out Danny G, man. He says, Jeff, if I didn't have trust issues after the Manu stuff, I'd be right with you on Abney. Laughing face. It's fair.
There you go.
I'm held accountable for that.
That was the last player you've gone out on a limb for.
Yeah, I mean,
we fell for it, man.
How do you not?
He's 6'9", bro.
He's
with no gut.
With no gut.
With no gut. Big calves.
Oh,
you know
that's
you're
funny.
a calf, man.
Cali Mex Chef, I would have bet $1K that you had Manu number 1 breakout player this year. No, Cali Mex, I went to rehab for it.
We did this segment last year, and he had Giovanni Manu as number 1.
I buried it. I buried the take. It's buried.
So he finally let go.
It's like an old family pet. It's buried in the back.
You just had a half shove now.
Yeah.
That's all. Not a full
And then
shove.
number 1, Tay Ratledge. I don't have to explain too much. The guy, end of last year, was much, much better than he was at the start of the year, and he's only going to continue to ascend. So, those are my breakout players. You guys can comment some of yours, slide in some mailbag questions. We'll get to that as well. And like the stream. We're trying to get to 100-plus likes, 150 likes. We still have the hot dog eating contest
Once we hit
between
150.
Booner and Caleb happening at 150 likes. We haven't hit it yet, but we're going to one of these days.
Real quick,
and then we'll get to Super Chats before we do it.
I have a question for Booner really quick on yours. I do like your list. But so the Derek Barnes one, is Derek Barnes a player that you think needs to break out, or do you think he will break out?
I think the reason I put him on my list is because he has an opportunity right now, going into this season for his career to break out.
Cop out.
Will he?
Yeah, but it's a top 5 breakout list.
Will
that
he?
means you believe these players will break out.
Do you believe? Well, no, because you guys are doing that to me. But he had Christian Mahogany as a 5 or 6 out of 10 to break
But he
out.
did say he leaned more into he believes.
You think he will? I mean, I would argue that Derek Barnes will break out because he's going to be in a better position right now. Like, he's going to get more snaps.
Yeah, but is that a good thing? Because he's going to have to play coverage. Like, the run is great. We love him in the run game.
I did see a video in OTAs of him making some plays.
Last time we saw him in coverage, Jameis Winston got a lifetime highlight.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Yeah, but to be fair, he wasn't really in coverage. He was blitzing, and he's the one that dropped back.
Nah, I feel it.
Like,
I
that's
think
a
we will
funny
call
thing
that
to throw
coverage,
out there,
Booner.
but let's be real.
I think we will call that coverage.
Yeah, but okay, we can, whatever. But what I'm saying, though, is he has every opportunity in his career this year. This is like a career year for him to break out. And it's the same thing with Christian Mahogany with Jeff. It's a 5 out of 6 of confidence.
No, I was higher than that. I said I'm confident.
said
all right, I'll go 6-7. Sorry, one difference. 6 is still in there.
Here's the difference. They asked me straight up with Christian Mahogany. I said I'm confident. I'll go. I'm confident.
Okay.
I'll go there.
I'm confident with Derek Barnes. He's going to have a good year.
All right, cool. That's all we wanted.
Yeah.
I don't know why that same question wasn't.
Oh, it's not
that way.
It's not that. It's people just.
We pressed him equally.
Yeah,
so
I had to stand on my Mahogany take, and I'm
all.
in. I'm jumping.
But if
in the
it's a
pool.
top 5 breakout, I assume you think these players will break out. So I'm sorry for that. I'm sorry if I thought wrong on that.
Let's go to break. When we get back, we'll get to mailbag. Before we do, Massage Chair House. Caleb, talk to him.
Caleb.
Yes, sir. Let me tell you about Massage Chair House. They are the Massage Chair House. Are you looking to take your relaxation to the next level?
I am.
Visit Massage Chair House in Bloomfield Hills, the largest massage chair showroom in the Midwest, featuring top-tier brands like Infinity and Osaki. This is your destination for premium comfort and cutting-edge wellness technology. Experience the difference with Dr. Eric Duncan, the wellness doc and creator of the #1 YouTube channel for massage chair reviews at The Wellness Doc. Book your visit today at massagechairhouse.com or simply scan the QR code on your screen. Massage Chair House, your ticket to ultimate recovery and relaxation.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
Swirling and swirling World City! Towering helicopter! Point the penalty spot once more!
This is a hungry bear. This is Carl and Jeff. Carl isn't worried because he has focused energy to spare thanks to Thrive energy pouches. Jeff didn't use Thrive when Carl offered. The bear is happy about that. Don't just survive. Thrive.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
All right, let me tell you guys about Mortgage Pros. If you guys are looking for a career upgrade, check out Mortgage Pros, the #1 mortgage broker to work for in the state of Michigan. We saw their incredible company culture firsthand at their annual block party. Their team truly loves what they do, and it shows. With a 4.9 stars on Google and over 4,000 reviews, their reputation speaks for itself. So if you are looking for a new job, give Mortgage Pros in Troy a call today at 248-416-1361. Mortgage Pros, let the pros handle it.
We're back. It's Crunch Time and Woodward Sports. Fire off the mailbag questions. I can't see all the super chats.
Yeah, I think
Caleb,
we missed a couple.
could you go through them for me, and then we'll start reading off mailbag questions.
Yeah, we got a couple mailbags here. Let's see. Shout out to Matheson for the $1.99. He says, "Where did the super chat go?" We're reading them as we see them. We're reading them. Labartney. Or actually, did you guys get we got another one from Matheson, $9.99. Shout out. He says, "Do you guys remember Brockers was interview after the Stafford Goff trade?
Man.
He was excited about getting a good QB. Then he was traded to Detroit a month or two later."
Yeah, Madison, we do remember that stuff. I mean, that's why you got to just
The Fatty P era, man.
you got to tough position for Brockers to be in.
Very tough.
Yeah,
that's
fired
brutal.
up about getting Stafford for golf, and then you get traded to play with
Instantly. Imagine being in that locker room.
It's like, hey, man. I mean, come on, golf. Let's be real. It's Stafford, bro. Like, what do you want me to do?
And then we got another one from LeBartney, $4.99. Shout out LeBartney. We love you so much. We love you. He says the guy that can't afford send the heavyweights to Germany at Joey Radio.
Oh, no Joey slander.
Yeah, what are we doing?
Yeah, no, right.
See, we're getting
Joey.
disrespectful.
No Joey slander.
No
Labartney, come on.
Joey slander.
Another one from the Bartney, $4.99. He says KG is legit the smartest guy in the room.
Oh my God!
Shout out KG.
Hey,
Shout
I
out
appreciate
KG.
it. It's the Mad Packs. It ain't me. I promise you.
Shout out
KG.
I appreciate it, man.
Is that it? What do we got? Any more?
No, that's it. LeBartney, again, we love you.
Shout
no
out.
Joey slander around here.
I got to say, Labartney has provided 90% of the.
I can tell y'all, he's a friend of the show, friend of the network.
Shout out to Labartney here. Let's get to mailbag. If I miss any, then just fire them off again. Who farted mailbag? Did you guys watch Game 1 of the Stanley Cup last night? That was a
I tuned in. I saw the 2 Vegas goals, and then I ended up. Yeah. I did not make it through the whole thing.
Am I learning something new? Are y'all hockey guys?
Not like full hockey, but I think it's fun. Like, it's good to watch. It's interesting to watch.
I'll say honestly, I'm being truthful. This whole it's been different getting used to not doing night shows, trying to tap into some of these games. Like I watched the NBA playoffs, and I was like, I haven't watched.
I can tune in fully to Tigers now. Like I can go home, sit down, and actually watch.
Why would you do that?
Well, I did it. That's fair.
What the fuck?
I did it last night, and they were up. They were winning. They were up 8-0 at one point. I was like, this is incredible.
I was about to say you need to come up with a Booner path for them to get back to real.
Last time I said I was going to do that, they ended up losing 6 straight, and it was like they're out. And I was like, I can't do that. I don't even know. They've won 2. I think the Booner path is just go 22-6. Do the complete opposite as last month in June.
Good luck with that.
Michael Reary says, mailbag, TA, Tyreek Miller, Tesla, and more.
I like TA as a breakout.
Yeah.
Man, you need him to break out.
No question. That actually would have been a good one. That was a miss.
Yeah, if TA, but again, that's the one that I'm going to hit you guys with the question you hit me with. Do you think he can?
Yeah.
Yes. If you're going to put him on that list, are you confident? If it's an 8 or more,
this is where we get into the tricky combo. Is it he has an opportunity? Or because
that's where do you genuinely think in the deep,
I'm standing on business,
long soul that you're sitting there going, yep, he's going to.
KG's out there.
I'm confident. But I've been a TA guy since before he was drafted. When we did draft profiles, he was one of the guys I wanted him to draft. And now that he's here, It ain't been so hot, but I'm still sticking in there. I feel like he will get better, man. Like he will.
Cali Max mailbag. Who wins the championship first? Lions, Tigers, Wings, or Pistons?
Man, I don't even want to.
I don't even know. If I had to rank it right now, being honest, I think number 1 would be Pistons.
Still, yeah.
And then I think Lions, Tigers, and then the Wings.
Pistons are the closest.
That's where I think right now, if I had to do a ranking, which is crazy because a year ago, before this last year, if we did it a year ago, it would have been the Lions number 1.
Yeah, Tigers dead last. Ain't no way. The Red Wings got a far better shot than the Tigers.
Yeah,
do.
I see
sorry.
in the position you trade Skubal.
Skubal finna. Yeah,
that's
it's
like
over. It's over.
Neil was spot on. You blow the candle out.
Yeah, shut down the club.
Yeah, shut down the club, man. We'll do this one mailbag. Since there is free agency still happening, who do you think Brad will pick up for the price of $1?
Nobody.
Yeah, I think he's done, dude. I was thinking about it. I was thinking about it in the back yesterday. I think we were having a conversation about free agents with the Myles Garrett stuff. I just don't think I think he's done.
Yeah.
Unless he gets a guy that gets like cut at training camp.
Yeah.
That's
I can tell you what, it's not going to be an edge.
Yeah, he's definitely not. Hey, we want Cam Jordan or we want Jadeveon Clowney. Guess what? He's not going to do. He's not going to get one of those two guys.
I think your best chance is maybe a linebacker, but I don't even think they'll go that
dude,
route.
if you brought Bobby Wagner in, I mean,
Man,
you
I
have
would
an
love
opportunity to really take counter. If you want to counter what Les Snead just did, there's guys to counter. And Spenny was running around here yesterday screaming. I was in the bathroom. I could hear someone yelling, and I went in here, and Spenny's like, the Rams are going to get Cam Jordan, and this whole thing's over.
He was pimping that, bro. I'm
and
like,
he just
stop,
kept saying
man,
it. And I'm like, dude.
No.
But I thought about it after. Like, I got home, and I'm sitting there. I'm going, oh, they're going to get Cam Jordan.
No, but okay. Because he said Aaron Donald was going to come out of retirement, too. So you banking on Aaron Donald going to come out of retirement.
That's
going
to
to
happen.
sign Cam Jordan.
Would you want to do a pizza bet on Aaron Donald coming out? Because I think he will.
I'm down.
Oh.
I'm so down. Yeah.
Pizza bet.
Wait, Booner, you think he?
I think he comes out of a retirement. Aaron Donald's coming back. Did you see the text he sent Jordan? Is it Jordan Schultz yesterday?
Pizza on me, man.
Jordan Schultz. Here, let me pull this up real quick. Hold on. Let me go get this Jordan Schultz because
he edging y'all, bro.
He texted. Jordan Schultz said, "I texted Aaron Donald. Are you ready for this?" Aaron Donald responded, said, "I'm for sure flirting with the idea. Hell of an opportunity with the Super Bowl in SoFi this year. If I can find the fire, it's a possibility."
Oh, I mean, think about it. Super Bowl in SoFi.
Why would he not?
Myles Garrett.
Why would he not?
I mean, dude.
He doesn't have to be the full. He doesn't have to be the full number 1 either. He can be kind of a rotational piece in interior. Even though he's probably the best, he's still the best if he joins.
Yeah, bro.
But like they still have.
Let's be real.
What
too.
Braden Fisk, Poona Ford, like they have dudes. Byron Young, Kobe Turner.
I know they do. That's why I don't see it, bro. It's too many guys on that line already, and then you just added Myles Garrett.
Myles Garrett, and
they run a 3-4. It's not like they run 4 down line.
But if someone goes down, if something happens, like Aaron Donald's like, "Yep, I'm playing."
It's like the Avengers, man.
It's gonna happen, and we're all gonna be hurt.
It's ridiculous, dog.
Michigan Go Blue, appreciate the $2. Pistons going to add a piece or re-sign same guys? Well, that's the big question, and I think what they must do is add a piece.
I'm confident in Trajan that he'll be better than the other GMs in this town. He will make a somewhat aggressive move in the offseason.
Trajan.
I hope so.
I think he will.
Teddy, by the way, asked. He said, "Teddy said, mailbag. Did you guys sign a contract with Woodward that says you're not allowed to use your Crunch Time YouTube channel? We still will be using Crunch Time.
Yeah, we can use it.
We are allowed to use our Crunch Time.
I'll be honest. Full transparency with you guys. Like it's been a crazy couple weeks. I
mean,
we haven't even.
We're trying to get our kind of everything under control here. Get settled with this new show at 11 to 1.
We still have clips going up and reels going up, but live streams that's not over.
We will get back to doing live stuff on Crunch Time. It's just more so like getting comfortable with schedule and everything. Yeah.
Got to get used to the flow, man.
We'll probably get our Saturday morning show back.
Actually, Woodward 2.0 has been encouraging. They want us to make content.
No, absolutely.
Completely different vibe around here, man. Let's get out of here. Braylon Anson, 2 to 4. Heavyweights, 5 to 7.
Woodward Tigers.
Tigers post-game show with Nick Koloff and Maz.
Enjoy these 2 wins, because
we're getting a third one today. We're sweeping them.
Love you guys. We'll catch you tomorrow.
I love you all.
Until then, peace.
Bartney, love you so much,
love
man.
You, Bartney.
The next generation of Detroit sports media is here. Crunch Time is back on Woodward Sports. Join Jeff Iafrate and Booner Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Taking Detroit sports coverage to the next level with massive interviews, viral moments, and the best live reactions. Get ready, Detroit. The young guns are taking over. Crunch Time on Woodward Sports.